WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, presented by Bud Light on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
What's going on, KBN Nation? This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman. Feel free to take the seatbelt off and enjoy the next 3 hours of your day with us. He's Kyle Wallace. Say something, Kyle.
What's happening?
He's Brad Nortman.
What's going on?
Oh!
A little something for you there.
Yeah. So I've been tossing to Kyle as we are on day 3 of the new show here. And I almost think I should go to Brad first. I'm not going to lie. Because Kyle brings the hot energy there. It's almost hard to follow.
That's true.
I'm almost not setting you up for success there.
Yeah, you almost need to ease our audience into Kyle, because Kyle brings it, man. He brings it. I mean, I bring it, but Kyle brings it.
My teachers always let people know about that.
So how do you feel about the seatbelt sign being off, and feel free to roam around the cabin and enjoy the next 3 hours with us?
I like that. As a person who is a loyal Frontier All-You-Can-Fly Pass member. A loyal All-You-Can-Fly Frontier Pass member who loves to take flights. Listen, I like to get fluid out too. So, I like that.
Okay.
Frontier.
We had a plan, and I can't go to the plan now.
Why not?
They have a loyalty program? There's enough people that fly Frontier consistently to have a loyalty program?
I can talk about this all the time. So they do have a loyalty program, but they have something very special that's called the Frontier All-You-Can-Fly Pass. Has anybody heard of this Frontier All-You-Can-Fly Pass? Nobody.
This sounds too good to be true.
Crickets.
So how much would you gentlemen pay to be able to
no free ads here, but we're going to do this.
Ain't no free ad. I mean, I'm just saying I am a loyal member. How much would you pay in order to fly wherever you want it at a small fee of $15 one way or $25 when it comes to having like a layover?
But this is my follow-up. There has to be some fine print in this.
It's fine print, but let's answer the question. How much would you pay?
Yeah, but before I answer the question, I don't want my ass sitting on cardboard for the entire 4 hours I'm flying around the country.
Overreaction. Let's just have you flown Frontier before?
Yes.
Okay, now it's not the most comfortable, but I bet you your pockets felt good. Did they not?
I don't know.
It feels good upon checkout. I will say that.
Yeah,
it does feel good.
But then when you get there, it's like, this bag, backpack, and this.
You're talking about reading fine print. You better read exactly what you're signing up for, okay? They're going to charge you a nickel and dime you all the way. But how much would y'all pay?
To fly anytime.
Anytime you want it. There's a catch.
They don't have enough direct flights.
Enough for K-Wall. Come on, let me know. What would you?
At least $500.
$500.
$750.
That's it. What about you?
I mean, I'm not paying Frontier more than $100 for an all-you-can-fly round trip, because I'm not even paying them for any flights right now.
Because I also know it's going to be laced in surprise. Hey, your bag's going to be $50.
For
your
the
luggage is going
record,
to be $100.
if we're being honest here, right? Kyle's going to be the next one on the viral video. And he may not be him that goes crazy, but if we see a lot of these viral videos happen on what airlines?
That crazy
the
lady.
Frontier Flyer Miles.
People be tripping. Delta, the boo-boo on Delta, that was Delta. All right, the lady tripping, that wasn't Frontier. So basically, it's $600 all you can fly. They have some restrictions, but they kind of have exemptions to that. So typically, you can only book 24 hours before you fly. But
24 hours?
Wait a minute now.
Man, I am. Let's give him 30 seconds, because every time he says something, I want to pounce all over him.
Let me finish. And so, but they run specials like right now. Currently, if you are a member like myself who paid $600, I can book all the way out into December 16th in advance for no fee. I just pay my $15. So I think it's a great deal to be able to plan ahead and only pay $15. I took a lot of trips this summer.
I want to know more about the business model. I don't think that's gonna last. If they're giving away $600 fly where you want for a year and pay $15, I don't know, man.
They want a nickel and dime you on the back.
Brad, as our investment guy, I'm shorting that one.
Yeah, there's got to be something going on here on the company's bottom line that is just They've got to be bleeding.
Come on now, think about it. You get a whole bunch of people to pay these memberships that they may or may not use, but all of a sudden you get an influx of cash of people saying, I want to buy into this program. They may or may not do that, use it, but here's the thing.
I think they hope people don't use it
but
as
the
often as they
flights are
think.
always sold out, so they have a limited number of seats that you're just trying to fill with butts.
It's because they have 10 planes.
No, y'all tripping. Y'all not going to talk about Frontier like that. As long as I'm an all-you-can-fly passenger, we will respect Frontier Airlines. I'm taking it to
I love how you think that everything that you say and say with your chest out is not going to be criticized by anybody.
I puff my chest out like a peacock.
You are open to be criticized no matter what you say.
No. We're going to love Frontier for now, okay?
Kyle, you're a man of extreme loyalty. Extreme loyalty.
Thank you,
With
Brad.
the Packers, the Badgers, Frontier even, to an airline.
It's not that bad if you plan
This is where I'm going to need you guys. 800-990-3776, the ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line. Randy in Greendale chimes in. KW always bringing the electricity. See what I did there? What am I missing here? With electricity.
I think that means kilowatts. And that's an electric. Pretty good. That's pretty good.
He's smart. He got into Madison on his own bear.
I mean, I did too.
Oh, good for you. I mean, I was
Maybe.
I was not UW Madison.
I don't know what the conversations were with the athletic department to the admissions office and what strings they needed to pull. But of us three in the room, and Chris included, did any of you guys get into Stanford? I did. I don't know how.
I want to talk to the admissions office in Stanford. And what year was that? 2010? 2011?
Yeah, 2010 to 14.
Some shady stuff going
that
on.
That needs to be a caller. What
No,
did they see
no
specifically
23
in
ACT.
Brust?
No matter what sport you play.
Time out, wait a minute. You had a 23 ACT and you got into Madison and Stanford?
Hell yeah.
Oh, man.
Basketball is my favorite
gosh.
sport.
I see. As a matter of fact, yes. Never mind. Yes, you did not get on your own, man.
You've heard Are You Smarter Than Ben Brust?
I just assume. I mean, I thought you got into Madison because maybe you might have been smart. Obviously, he clearly got in because he was smart. You, on the other hand, you got in based off your.
Hey, I was gonna go personal for a second. Your cousin.
No, wait. Well, he got a good ACT score. He had good grades. He's a 3.9 student. I think he had like a 26 on his ACT, so he was good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. 26, 27.
All right.
He's smart. Now, Madison, no, they changed since then. They don't just let in anybody.
And your cousin for the KBN Nation to know, because we are Badger fans here.
So I actually have two cousins. So I got a text message on Monday when I only mentioned one. So one cousin is like for real cousin. You know, black folks, we got cousins that's like extended family cousin. But my cousin is number 54.
No, I don't know, actually. I know, but I don't know.
I'm going to educate you. So Jordan Turner, number 54 on the Badgers, is my cousin. But then in addition to that, Nate White, freshman running back from Rufus King High School, he is like legit. His dad is my grandfather's first cousin, so like he's legit family.
I'm already lost.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's deep in the tree.
Oh yeah,
that's
I got
deep
a lot
in
of
the
kinfolk.
family tree.
I got a lot of kinfolk. It's not too deep. I mean, it's not like we're like second cousins.
800-990-3776. Appleman in the Orchard. KBN Nation, I would like to apply for the Appleman position. If accepted, you will receive some fall bakery goodies, including some awesome apple slab. I can vouch for the apple slab. That is Appleman currently picking apples.
I am glad we are revisiting this again because I was thinking more about it. I know we even our text group, we even talked a little bit more about it because last night when I got home on my birthday,
Yes.
Lexi had a fall candle burning, and it was so welcoming to come home to a nice fall candle, the seasonal scent. We got apple scents, we've got apple themes. How great is that to come home to? It just brought me to ease.
No,
guys.
You sound like a guy who went to dinner and had a couple glasses of wine.
No,
well,
you sound like a
that
person
might happen too.
No, you sound like a guy who got all warm and fuzzy on the inside, coming off a high of having dinner with his wife and all that. No, I'm with you on that way. I like that.
We might need to check the fire codes in the studio here. Maybe we need to put some candles here for Ben to experience what it's like to have a seasonal scent.
Look, I told you, my girlfriend, she ran to the grocery store. There's a specific grocery store that has a stupid fall scent, and she went and they had it in the back, and she was berating people. Well, if it's in the back, how come it's not out here? She needed to know when it was going to be out because they apparently run out quick.
Well, you know what? I want to try that. I think it might bring a calming, nice presence that I need sometimes.
Yeah. I like that.
But let's make this guy it, because I do like apple cider donuts. Does he? I don't know.
He does those too.
I don't know what apple slab
Look,
is.
Appleman's not just a guy. Now, Scalzo and Brust, before we ended last Friday, about a year ago, we did a remote from the apple orchards. Corn, maize, maybe KBN can go out to Appleman's orchard as we get closer to the apple picking season, because we got some fall lovers here.
I may or may not have a couple pictures on social media in a flannel and doing some apple picking. It may be a tradition.
How do we get those pictures for the Twitter?
I'll show it to y'all. Maybe I'll just take one again this year as I go apple picking. Ain't nothing wrong with a little apple picking.
I could see you as a guy that really studies his apple before he picks it. It was like, then this is too many blemishes right here. Too many blemishes.
So I like doing things. I'm like the person that likes doing things, but I don't eat the apples. I think the apples are actually like kind of nasty.
What do you do with
the apples that had worms on.
Not at the orchard.
Well, at the orchard, we're going to find out. We're going to find out whether or not it's good.
Yes, we will.
I believe it is if we went there last year on Scouts.
Speaking of Twitter, you can find us on Twitter at KBNESPN. We're streaming there. We're streaming on YouTube. You can find us a lot of different places, but I do want to get into the conversation around the Packers and the Jets, because week one, these two teams, and throughout the entire season, they were going to be tied together in many different ways. And in some ways, they will still be tied together, because although Aaron Rodgers, after rupturing his Achilles, will not be playing in the 2023 season, that means no first-round pick for the Green Bay Packers in return. They will still get a second-round pick from the Jets, and you saw the Jets on Monday Night Football beat the Bills. Obviously, we saw the debut of Jordan Love against the Bears be pretty efficient on third and fourth down, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers. I want to ask you guys, who wins more games this year, the Jets or the Packers?
Taking a look at it, if you asked me right away yesterday after the injury had occurred, I would probably jump to being all hyped and excited about the Packers. I mean, let's be honest. The Packers had an impressive week 1 win. The defense really rose to the occasion. Jordan Love stepped up and showed how great he's going to be. Matt LaFleur solidified the fact why he has been a coach of the year and why he is a solidified individual. But when you think about it and you look at the Jets still have one really good thing, and they have a really great defense. And another thing, a secret weapon that they have, and we thought about the fact that Aaron Rodgers was going to be the starting quarterback and how he can elevate that team. Have we thought about the fact that eventually Aaron Rodgers is going to be back on the sidelines? He's going to be back at practice, and maybe Zach Wilson won't be all that much trash with actually having Aaron Rodgers there. And based off the Jets, I think the Jets might actually have a really good chance to be better than the Green Bay Packers this year, because I do love my Packers, and I do think we're going to be good, but I still think the Jets may end up winning more games than the Packers this year.
Wow. I wasn't expecting that answer.
Especially from Mr. Green Bay himself.
I love my Green Bay Packers, but I think Jordan Love is a quarterback.
Mr. Objective, Kyle Walsh.
I am objective, but I do love my Packers, and the Jets defense is undeniable. Like, the Packers defense looks phenomenal, but the Jets defense look top 3, and the Packers aren't that.
I think if the Jets and Packers played one another, even without Aaron Rodgers, I think they'd be pretty darn close. I think if they played 10 games, it'd be split 5-5, 6-4, one direction. So I think they're actually, as you look at them, they're pretty similar. Now, if you throw Aaron Rodgers as the starting quarterback for the Jets,
you can throw that out. We're not living that reality anymore.
They're going to be the better team. I think it's going to be the Packers, though. I've got Packers. I do. I've got the Packers slated now for 8 or 9 wins. Kind of a floor at 8, honestly.
Wow.
And I only have 7 for the Jets, even with the win last night. They were 7-10 last year. The Jets were basically
7-6, and then lost the last 4.
True. Very true. I think this is a team that is going to be emotionally deflated. They had an unbelievable win, but the Bills played awful. I mean, awful. Whenever you win the turnover battle like that, you're likely going to win. I don't think they can rely on that every week. And if you look at their schedule compared to the Packers' schedule, that's also a gauntlet, right? The Packers are in an easier division and have easier non-divisional opponents that they are slated to play. The Jets, maybe
it's a tough schedule.
Maybe one of the hardest divisions in football. And their non-divisional teams are tough. So just even for that.
They already proven something against the Buffalo Bills without Aaron Rodgers played, but he didn't play. Like, legitimately. He played, but he did not play. And they still found a way to get over that emotional hump and found a way to win that game against a Super Bowl contender in the Bills.
Yeah, what I think that Brad brought up that is interesting is how sustainable is what they did against the Bills. but maybe it's more sustainable because they played a very, very, very good Bills team, and that defense, that special team, they have some talent. Obviously on the offensive side of the football, like they're going to have to lean strong into the run game. Their offensive line from pass protection is a question, but Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook were able to be, solid in terms of what they were able to give this team. Garrett Wilson's a top 5 wide receiver, in my opinion. But that being said, I think it's going to be really close. I'm still going to go with the Jets because you know why? The same reason why I can't anoint Jordan Love the guy just yet is the same way I'm kind of approaching like these season-long over-unders. I think it's a little bit egregious for anyone. Obviously, when Aaron Rodgers goes down, the Jets over-under was probably like 10. It's going to go down, but it's going to be, like you said, Brad, very close to where the Jets are. And so I think from an overall standpoint, you have the knowns of the Jets. Their defense is good. You saw them win a game through special teams. They have offensive talent. Their biggest question mark is QB. I'm still waiting to see what the overall product is from Jordan Love before I'm willing to put my name on the Jet, or before I put my name on the Packers having more wins than the Jets. That being said, it still is a win for the Packers, even if the Jets only win 8-9 games and the Packers win 7-8, and somehow the Jets have more because of that second-round pick. 800-990-3776. Again, 800-990-3776. That's the number for you, KBN Nation, to get involved with the show. Also have a pull out on Twitter at KBN ESPN. We'll continue the conversation around who will win more games this year now that Aaron Rodgers is out and how that affects the second-round pick. Also, are people overreacting to the loss of Aaron Rodgers? There were some funerals going on yesterday. We'll hit on that and more next on Kyle, Brust, Nortman, KBN.
More Kyle, Brust, and Nortman coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com. Football Guy.
Just as long as they're 18-wheelers that are full of inventory, don't jackknife on the highway, then everything will be fine.
Football Guy.
Why would you put that out in the universe? Why would you do that?
You psycho.
Yeah, you psychopath. It's not healthy, Jason. What are you doing?
Coming at it from different views.
Come on.
I'm a psycho and a moron.
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Also sponsored by Coors Light. Weekdays 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
This Badger Minute brought to you by UW Credit Union. For over 90 years, UW Credit Union has helped Wisconsinites achieve their financial goals at every stage of life, offering great rates for greater possibilities. Join today at uwcu.org. Coming off of a national title run, the Wisconsin women's hockey team is tied for the top spot in the 2023-24 WCHA preseason coaches poll. Also announced by the league on Tuesday, sophomore Caroline Harvey was named the WCHA Preseason Player of the Year. Harvey was named last year's USA Hockey Bob Allen Women's Player of the Year during the national title run and is now the 7th Badger picked as the WCHA Preseason Player of the Year. The puck drops on the Badgers' national title defense on Thursday, September 28th against Lindenwood.
Badger Minutes on ESPN Wisconsin are brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule an appointment online today at PellaWI.com.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau. This is your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee. Want that mirror finish on your car? You need Z-Gloss by Z-Bart. Z-Gloss is a 3-layer ceramic coating that not only gives your car that mirror finish, it protects it from everything that Mother Nature can throw at it. Visit zbart.com for more information.
The Packers had a scary moment in Sunday's win over the Bears. After scoring a touchdown in the third quarter, running back Aaron Jones left the game with a hamstring injury and did not return. A day later, head coach Matt LaFleur provided a brief update on his star running back.
We're still kind of going through that right now. I can tell you the encouraging thing was that he was able to jog off the field, and we were in a situation where we didn't need to put him back in the game.
We'll have a better idea of where Jones stands for the Packers' Week 2 matchup against the Atlanta Falcons when the week's first injury report is released on Wednesday afternoon.
This has been your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee.
Woo! I am thirsty today. Definitely going to need a cold one. There's the one. I've got Blake's Hard Cider in my hand, and there's always great options to choose from. Sean Gerber from Blake's is joining me to give us the scoop on how Blake's Hard Cider is making waves.
2023 actually marks the 10th anniversary for Blake's Hard Cider. It's fun to look back at how far you've come. In 2013, when we first started, it was a one-man operation run by Andrew Blake in the back room of his family's farm. They sold cider out of large format bottles to a couple local stores, to a couple local bars, and then out of the store that they had there at the orchard. You fast forward to 2023 and Blake's is sold in over 30 states, and we're growing quickly. We have plans to expand even beyond that.
Thanks to Sean from Blake's Hard Cider for joining me this week. Remember, folks, especially now that the weather's starting to turn, the fridge should always be stocked.
The Brewers pennant race is heating up. Make sure you have a spot when October comes around. Get first dibs at postseason tickets with your 2024 season ticket plan. Not only will you get first access to Brewers postseason tickets, but season seat holders only enjoy exclusive benefits, the best seats, big savings on tickets, exclusive rewards, and more. Place a deposit now to be a part of the postseason and beyond at brewers.com/season tickets.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
We found out to start the show that Kyle Wallace is a part of a club that I didn't even know existed. The Frontier Airline Frequent Flyer Nonsense.
That's not what it's called. All you can fly past. Let's respect the name of it. Thank you.
JB in the V chimes in on the KBN Nation talking text line, 800-990-3776. Frontier, the Wright brothers wouldn't even fly those rickety planes.
Again, y'all can say what y'all want to say. Y'all just see, this is the problem. I'm not a follower. I don't have an iPhone. I don't just fly an airline just because everybody else thinks it's cool. I do things. I walk to my own beat of my own drum on my own beat, whatever it is. That's the way I move in life. And so I'm not going to let somebody pull me down based off the choices I make.
That's fair. I like that you're a leader, but I feel like you're leading yourself down a scary path.
I've had that path has been very comfortable.
It has it.
It has been.
Those chairs are the worst.
And there's usually a reason why the most the bulk
you
of the
get for what you pay for.
Yeah, you do. I mean, the people on the plane sometimes can be interesting, but it makes for an entertaining plane ride. So don't knock it till you try it.
So we put it out on Twitter at KBN ESPN, the poll after Aaron Rodgers' season-ending injury, who wins more games this season? Packers or Jets? Early in the voting, 82% of the people say Packers, 18% of the people say Jets. Now, for some reason, I guess you didn't hashtag Jets. Somebody from a Jets fan got a hold of this, and they sent the GIF. Now, I'm not to the point where it's a it's a no-doubter, but I'm going to pick the Jets because there's still more knowns than unknowns, right? We still don't know if the Packers defense, we heard it all Monday from Tausch, from Jason Wilde, from Rob Domofsky, who's going to join us at 3:30. The Bears looked horrible. They were worse than everyone expected them to look. And so from that standpoint, is it good that the Packers defense played well? Absolutely. But the Jets are a top 3 defense in the NFL. Their special teams, you saw what they were able to do in overtime with Xavier Gibson running back. They have weapons offensively. Their offensive line and QB are a question mark. But there's still more knowns. I will go as far to say is Jordan Love's still not a known, right? He's just not. Was it a great debut? Yes, it's everything you could have asked for. But it was against a bad Bears team, and I think the jury is still out.
Do you think you'd rather have Jordan Love than Zach Wilson leading your squad? Okay.
Absolutely.
And what about the way...
Because I've seen enough of Zach Wilson to be like, I don't know if all the coaching that even Aaron Rodgers and Nathaniel Hackett can give him can help somebody who just doesn't have it.
And because this is a quarterback-driven league and the quarterback has such an impact on a team, that already gives the Packers the inside route for me. I like what I see out of the Packers. And yes, it's just week 1, and we need to be careful not to overreact to how the Packers looked on the field on Sunday against Chicago, because I think we can all agree the Chicago Bears are pretty bad. But even the way the Jets won, that's just my biggest fear is that, look, the Bills, this is just one of the many great teams they face all year. They were +3 in the turnover ratio. Anytime you're +3 in the turnover ratio, you have something like a 95% chance to win, and you had a punt return, and it took them to overtime to do that. I just don't think that's repeatable. I think they're going to be running into more challenging ways to win ball games than the Packers are.
That defense to me is something that seems very special, and I'm not trying to underestimate what they did. Because when you look at that defense, and they went against Josh Allen, who was an MVP caliber quarterback, and they made him look so in that game on Monday night. And again, the adrenaline that you have from losing Aaron Rodgers and the emotions, yes, that takes over to a certain extent. But now you have time to go in, you have time to plan, you have time to prepare for Zach Wilson. And I am not a believer in Zach Wilson being this great quarterback, but I am a believer in the fact that they're going to set him up with Nathaniel Hackett. They're going to have Aaron Rodgers right there with him, and he is going to improve when it comes to in-game adjustments and preparation overall as a quarterback. And I'll say this, I think they go down in Dallas and they shock all the people and all the naysayers and come out there with a victory down in Dallas.
And so what happened, obviously, on Monday, took the entire sports world by storm yesterday, right? If you listen to Greeny here on our various stations across ESPN Wisconsin, it sounded like somebody died in his family. John Anderson of ESPN Sports Center and joining the Homer Hour yesterday, he joined us and talked about how, nobody died, but it felt like that. And so I just wonder if we're getting to a point of, did we overreact too much over what happened to Aaron Rodgers? Because Garrett Wilson, the number one wide receiver for the Jets, here's what he had to say about his interactions with old number 8.
At halftime, I just went in to check on him in the training room and just made sure I gave him a hug, told him I love him, and it really hurt my heart. He told me, just, sorry, kid. Just like that, he said, sorry, kid, and said he loved me back, and that was it, but just truly heartbroken, for real. And my emotion at that moment was similar to how it is now. Just really felt for the man and for our whole team. We love Aaron, and everyone there loves him, and he brings a certain energy with him, and man, we were trying to imitate it. We were trying to imitate it when he went down and win for him, man, because he deserved to be out there, and that was that, man.
I mean, he really sounded like this man did die. He was holding Aaron Rodgers' hand as he took his last breath. Sorry, kid, I couldn't make it.
Yeah,
sorry, kid.
I felt like they were holding hands in the Titanic. And as Rodgers said, I'm sorry, kid, he let go of his hand.
It did sound theatrical. It really did.
Well, I mean, you just see, it impacted them a lot. I mean, Garrett Wilson not having time to process it, it really impacted them a lot in that moment.
What I will say is I don't think it's an overreaction. I don't. Because I and every football fan and every Packer fan, whether they want to admit it or not, is going to miss watching what happens throughout the season, right? We were robbed of drama because here's the thing, right? The first round pick, regardless of whatever happened, right? The first round pick or the second round pick, if it was a low first round pick, if the Jets stunk and Aaron Rodgers played 65%, or a high first round pick if he played 65% and they were good, or a low first round pick because they might stick with Zach Wilson. None of that mattered. What mattered was we were robbed of one of the most polarizing figures in all of sports going down, right? You think of any other sport, NBA, you who's the first person to think of?
LeBron.
Right? NFL right now, it's Aaron Rodgers. And it's not just because we lived in the state of Wisconsin and had Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. It's because of who he's become as a person, how he's evolved. We're robbed of the drama, of what would have been either, if they missed the playoffs, right? Packer fans, oh, yes, we're so glad we got rid of him. They missed the playoffs. Look what we got rid of. He makes the playoffs and they lose in the playoffs. See, he's a choker. We've dealt with this for the last 15 years. The only way Packer fans lost in all of the drama that we're missing out is if he won the Super Bowl. And that's hard to freaking do. So I'm sad. It's not an overreaction because we were robbed as fans.
You can have a sad and a negative reaction, but there's also a level of appropriateness to how much you should be able to go to that. If this is something where like you have trouble getting out of bed, you can't sleep at night, I mean, that might be a sign that the reaction is a little bit too big, because guys go down on the NFL field all the time. I don't remember being this upset as a nation when Tom Brady had his ACL tour in 2008, and that was early in the season too. So
it's because Tom Brady didn't captivate you in an emotional level, or make you mad because he didn't get the vaccine, or make you happy because he did. Like, he literally always, the darkness retreat, Panchakarma, going to Hawaii and taking pictures, not showing up to training camp, then showing up and telling the organization how to run their business. He continuously brought drama, and I love drama.
I see you love to watch Real Housewives of all these different
Maybe
places.
I do need to watch that.
I see you like to watch the soaps. I see you like to watch Love and Hip Hop. You like the drama. The drama is cool. The drama is great. But the fact that we just heard Garrett Wilson just talk about this sad and sorry kid, and we heard Greeny talk about the fact that he was all upset, and all these Jets fans acting like he died. I, again, had a long-term relationship with Aaron Rodgers, and I feel for Aaron Rodgers. But listen, as Brad just said, and as a quote from a movie, people get shot every day, B. People die every day, B. This is people.
Am I B?
Yeah, you're B. Yes, you are B, Ben Brust. People get hurt in sports every single day, B. This is what happens. Teams really build their momentum, and they come together as a collective, and they overcome adversity, and they find a way to win. That is part of the news story.
Football is life.
No, football is life, and for Aaron Rodgers' life, football will be life while he's rehabbing and cheering on his team. There is no reason why we should be acting like it is a funeral, and this is the end of the world. This is part of what the story was meant to be for the 2023-2024 NFL season. So, Ben, I understand you're upset, but this was all going to come to an end one day anyways.
I wasn't ready for it, Kyle. I wasn't ready for it.
He wasn't ready. It's okay.
Is the reaction bigger because he went to free agency and there's all this Jets hoopla? Or if he stayed on Green Bay, would there be the same reaction? Like, we're robbed of this great quarterback?
No, because everyone would have been excited to see Jordan Love. But the conversation was kind of going to, if Aaron Rodgers did come back, there was talks about, Jason Woodley wrote an article about potentially Jordan Love asking for a trade, because by year 4, he wanted to go out and he felt like there was nothing left he could learn. As a first-round pick, you want to play.
I mean, I agree. The overreaction wouldn't have been the same with Aaron Rodgers being a Packer. The conversation would have been, is that it? That's what people would have focused on, not of what could have been when it goes to this team. So I understand why people are reacting, but chill. Calm down. It's not that serious. Let's just focus on this man getting healthy and not focus on wanting to see this as the world continues to
2023, the lost NFL season.
So
that right there. So, Chris, I actually want you to play just the first 15 seconds when whatever what Garrett Wilson says Aaron Rodgers said to him. Let's hear really quickly from Garrett Wilson.
At halftime, I just went in to check on him in the training room and just made sure I gave him a hug, told him I love him, and it really hurt my heart. He told me, just, sorry, kid. Just like that, he said, sorry, kid.
I wish he would have said this, Chris.
Not yet, my son.
That's what he told Mother Ayahuasca. We have KBN Academy coming up next, but before we get there, I want to go tell you about the Princeton Club. The Princeton Club has locations in Madison, New Berlin, here in Milwaukee. That's where I'm a part of. And they're all great because they all have free childcare with your membership. So you can drop your kid off, get a great workout in. Unbelievable facilities. They're always making their workout facilities better for you. They have something for everybody as well. Personal training, weights, cardio, basketball courts. They literally have it all. I do personal training with my guy, Maddie, and they've empowered me to continue to find my better tomorrow. So find your better tomorrow by joining the Princeton Club. It simply is amazing. More Kyle Brust Nortman. We take you to school. KBN Academy next.
Not yet, my son.
KBN is back after this on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Announcing the former All-Star Buick GMC is now the all-new Cunis Buick GMC of Oak Creek. And the former John Paul's Buick GMC is now the all-new Cunis Buick GMC of Greenfield, Milwaukee's Buick GMC headquarters. Greg Cunis was recently named Time Magazine's Wisconsin Automotive Dealer of the Year. Plus, Cunis dealerships have been awarded Top 100 Best in the U.S. by the Automotive News the past 9 years. Our mission is to bring the Cunis Auto Group's unequaled customer satisfaction and service to our friends in the greater Milwaukee area. Cunis Milwaukee Buick GMC stores have the area's largest pre-owned car, truck, and SUV inventory with over 3,000 vehicles available on lot or online and always at a price and payment you can afford. And all new and pre-owned Cunis vehicles come with our exclusive no-fear lifetime warranty coverage at no extra charge. So buy like a champion at the all-new Cunis Buick GMC of Oak Creek, 7020 South 27th Street, or Cunis Buick GMC of Greenfield, 3615 South 108th Street. Milwaukee's Buick GMC headquarters.
Buckle up. It's all systems go at Potawatomi. Plug in to High Wattage Play and you could win an all-electric BMW i7. Play now through September with your club card. Prize drawings on Thursdays. There's a shocking $800,000 in total prizes on the line, including the luxury BMW i7. It's time to electrify your drive. Only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. More info at paysbig.com/BMW. Must be 21 years old and a club member to play.
Kessler's works with crazy genius diamond cutters around the globe.
But we keep our crazy genius jewelry designers right here at home,
where we can keep them busy.
Monica, I heard we gave our design team a challenge.
Yes. We gathered all 14 of them together and made their eyes sparkle with joy.
What did you say?
I said we wanted each of them to design a pendant that looks and feels like springtime.
Springtime! New life!
14 designers? 14 pendants?
Yes. And we manufactured exactly 8 copies of each of these 14 designer pendants.
There are only 112 of these limited edition pendants in the whole world?
Yep. And they will sell for only $299.
Wow.
One last thing. We're donating all the profits to the charity of the designer's choice.
Being employee-owned gives us the freedom to do fun things.
And then we share those things with you, the people we love.
See the crazy genius designer pendants at KesslersDiamonds.com.
Take it to the house this season and enjoy tailgating from your own backyard. Tito's wants to make sure you have the best tailgate on the block. You can win game day gear for your next gathering by entering to win at Tito'sTailgate.com. Be sure to enter by November 15th for your chance to win a Solo Stove Grill, a Broommate back tap for batch cocktails, or a Tito's football jersey. For official rules, visit Tito'sTailgate.com. Must be 21 years old to enter. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
The Waukesha Gun Club offers the perfect outdoor activity this weekend. Stop out and learn to shoot at one of Wisconsin's largest shotgun-only clubs. The Waukesha Gun Club features sporting clay courses, trap, and skeet ranges. Safety personnel will be on site to help answer your questions. Make plans now to enjoy the beautiful fall weather at the Waukesha Gun Club, just 1 mile north of I-94 at exit 295. Get more info at waukeshagunclub.org. Learn to shoot this weekend at the Waukesha Gun Club. Stop out and try something new.
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. That's right, folks. Great Lakes Dragway's 2023 race season is in full swing. Come out to see our annual events like Memorial Day Weekend, Labor Day Weekend, Nitro Streetcar Brawl, Import Wars, Larry's Fun Fest, and Bug Fest. Looking for something new and exciting? Come see the Night of Fire Jet Show. Want the track all to yourself? Email or call about a private track rental. Go to GreatLakesDragaway.com for contact information and our full season schedule. Great Lakes Dragaway, just a burnout west of I-94 on County KR. Be there.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
It feels good to see the world getting loose. Feels good to see the world getting loose. I don't know about you, Sack Noel. I don't know about you, Phenom. I don't know about you, like Shadow. I don't know about you, but I feel good.
It is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN. Across ESPN Wisconsin, I'm Ben Brust, along with Kyle Wallace, Brad Nortman, Chris Larson running the show. Chris, what we got on the other side? I'm just curious.
I believe it's Ryan Wollersheim.
Ryan Wollersheim. Wooly. We're not going to go to him unless we have technical difficulties and he has to struggle through opening the show, which is my favorite thing he's ever done on the air. But it's time to take everybody to school with a little KBN Academy.
In radio, our goal's pretty simple.
Just so you know,
You really suck.
Have an A show or an F show?
Hey, I'll decide who sucks around here.
The same goes for topics in this next segment. This is the KBN Academy.
Those that can't do, teach.
Big voice said it. It's KBN Academy, where we are your distinguished professors. Professor Wallace, Professor Nortman, and I am grad assistant Ben Brust until they, elevate me to professor. I feel like I got to earn my way. Is that fair?
That's fair.
So what we're going to do, we're going to give out grades. And in our grading world, it's only an A or an F. Red Velvet Oreos are returning to store shelves for a limited time. Now, I don't care about Red Velvet, but I want to know A or F. You dunk your Oreos in milk.
I'm going to give that an A. I'm going to give it an A. You know why? It's because I love when you dump it in there, right? And you let it sit for a little bit. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, that's what she said. Yeah.
Chris, I need you.
I dump it in there. You know what I like is when it get a little bit soggy, right? And then when you grab it and it almost breaks off and you chew it in the cream filling on the inside is a little bit nice and soft and chewy. I'm not a big milk guy. Kyle, I'm not a big milk guy, but I
didn't know you were gonna, if I asked this question, there's gonna be 10 that's what she said in one sentence.
But I enjoy it. I enjoy a nice soaked Oreo cookie that's been dipped. I can't wait to try the Red Velvet.
All right.
Keep them coming. Keep them coming.
If you dunk an Oreo in milk, what you're left with is a soggy cookie with a flavor that shouldn't be matched in one bite. I'm all for crunchy cookie bite and then wash it down with a nice cold swig of milk. But combining them, that's a big F for me. I don't want a soggy Oreo. I want a nice, crunchy, crisp Oreo.
So I think I can meet you guys halfway, because I'm an A here. I like dunking my Oreos in milk, but here's how I do it. I take the cup of milk, or the glass, and I usually take 3 Oreos, and you put them in the milk, and once they sink to the bottom, that's where the perfect level of mush and crunch. It is.
Wait a minute. So how do you dig? You do a lot of digging.
Oh, I'm digging. Like I'm digging for gold in my nose. I'm digging for the Oreos.
You make a mess.
No, but like it's a short glass. Think of like a cocktail glass. It doesn't have to be like a tall glass.
No, this doesn't seem like a good plan, because if you don't have enough,
Stephen Brust and Benjamin Brust, as they were growing up, mastered this.
Made quite the mess. There's no way when you put something in there. And again, I didn't do well in high school. Kyle's a little bit better. When you put the 3 cookies in, what happens is that fluid you have in there, it rises to the top and it could fall over, and then you got to dig in there. Doesn't sound like a good idea.
What about frozen Oreos? Like put them in the freezer? You ever tried that?
Never done that. That sounds pretty good.
Try it. And
it sounds
real quick,
too crunchy.
This is a huge judgment point for me. Single stuffed or double stuffed?
Oh, I love it double stuffed.
Double.
Yeah!
We
can agree. I'll go as far as twisting off one of a double stuff, twisting off one end, and then taking another double stuff, twisting off one end, and I got a quadruple stuff.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of cream.
That's a lot. You crossed
a lot of cream in the mouth.
That's the most stuffed.
Yeah.
They actually have that one, the most stuffed.
I'm going to have to give that one a try, maybe. But I didn't realize people still drink milk. People really still take a glass of milk and drink it?
I don't like milk at all.
Almond milk. I do almond milk.
Okay.
I'm not a dairy guy. I don't do milk in my coffees. The only time I do milk is cereal, which I haven't had in I think over 2-3 years, or Oreos.
No, I don't drink milk at all.
There's just something weird about it, right?
Drinking something that comes from another, like an animal's.
But what's the difference between drinking and eating?
Cow's teeth.
Drinking and eating it?
Yeah.
One tastes a lot better going down.
That's fair.
Yeah, unless you add some chocolate to the milk, maybe that.
Oh.
Everything's a little better, a little chocolate, right, Kyle? Like KBN here?
Yeah.
All right, we're moving on to Packers left tackle David Bakhtiari, who appeared on the Rich Eisen show and said that the NFL should ban turf fields and go to natural grass in all stadiums. I can't wait to do this and never talk about turf or grass again, but I know it's going to be a conversation. Let's start with Brad here, because I feel like you can give the best perspective. A or F, you agree with D-Bach?
I agree with him only because it seems like there's consensus among current players and former players that grass is a better surface to play on. There's a slightly less chance of injury. It's honestly way less brunt on players' joints, right? You're talking knees and hips and shoulders. So The NFL makes plenty of money. They have plenty of resources. There's really no reason why, when the players say this, that they shouldn't be able to act and make it happen. They have too many resources and they have too much power to not just be able to do this. And honestly, I think that it would make a better gameplay and a better viewership. How great is it when someone goes on the ground and they got grass stains all over their jerseys? So
I like that better than when Daniel Jones on Sunday.
Weed is tight.
Better than when Daniel Jones got up and like there was like the black rubble from the turf on his face. Like it didn't look as cool as if that was like he got sacked. There was like, I love when they gotta get the grass out of the helmet. Like it just like it feels real.
No, I enjoy it as well. You know me, I like to sometimes be the contrarian and go against. But in this situation here, I 100% agree with you. I really believe what David Bakhtiari say. I give it an A. And it's truly because of player safety. One thing that I'll say about the NFL is they are the biggest hypocrites out there.
Everyone knows that.
You cannot say we want player safety and we're going to get rid of a preseason game. And we're going to add another game that's going to be high intense at the end of the season so you have an extra game. All for money. And then we're going to say, you know what? We want more teams in the playoffs, more games, less health. And so this is another scenario where the NFL shows again they do not really care about player safety. They just like putting on the front. So I am absolutely with David Bakhtiari. Let's go back to all natural. Let's all natural everything. All natural grass, all natural women, all natural men, all natural everything. Unless you're trying to get the enhancement that Ben talks about.
I will say, well, we didn't say all. Oh, yeah, I guess it could be enhancements for women as well. But we'll get to Forward Healthy Lifestyles a little bit later and how you can enhance some things in your life. What I do have a question about is why the hell did all these high schools invest in like turf? Like, wasn't that the big movement?
Yeah, the reason behind it is the cost and time to maintain grass. That's the concern. It's just easier to set it and forget it.
Yeah, because you're talking about constituents who have to pay tax dollars, not NFL owners that have millions and billions of dollars.
That's fair. That's why I have you guys here. You guys are my new Greg and Josh. You can answer the questions that I have no idea because you guys actually got educations that you cared about. I care about mine, but I got mine a little bit differently than you guys. That's all we got for KBN Academy today. We're gonna keep it short. We got a lot of stuff to get to, Kyle. I know you're anxious.
I was gonna say what about your answer? I was gonna say that, but
I'm an A. I'm with them. Like again, why would I fight it? Like if he's on the field, right? And Brad, you've played on a field. Like, would I be like, no, give him turf? You know, like let's enhance the chance at injury. I'm the one who's crying over here about Aaron Rodgers being out for the season. I don't want to see stars go out. The best things that leagues do is protect their stars, right? As much as we want to be bothered by roughing the passer and call it weak, I'd rather it be weak than not seeing the best players out there because there's enough Zach Wilsons in the world as it is. How's that?
It's well said.
Yeah, I give that answer a B.
Oh, okay. All right, I got to earn it. I like it. Something you can do is come to Viva Las Vegas, courtesy of Circa Sports. So first and foremost, KBN was presented by Circa Sports. Play the Circa Million and Circa Survivor with 14 million in guaranteed prizes only at Circa Sports. Enter in Vegas. Play from anywhere. Visit circasports.com for details. Now, for more details on how you, listening right now, can go to Vegas with you and a guest, you get to go to the Green Bay game out in Vegas, flight, hotel. Well, all you got to do is hashtag Vegas and text it to 800-990-3776. I'll say that again. Hashtag Vegas, 800-990-3776. That's where you got to text it. 10 winners are going to come to the 3rd Street Market Hall here in Milwaukee for a knockout style of 21. I think you guys kind of know what that is. There's words we can't say. 21. I think you know what game we're talking about. You can play it in Vegas. The grand prize winners of 21 will win a trip to Vegas, tickets to the Green Bay game, 10 people. I'm the house. I'm the dealer. I'm going to dress up like a doofus, and then the last man standing in our game of 21 will make it to Las Vegas. Again, hashtag Vegas, 800-990-3776. Fill out the form to get entered. Brad Nortman turned 34 yesterday. He went out to dinner with his lovely wife. We recap what happened and if Brad should have done something that he didn't do next on KBN.
We're back with more Kyle, Brust, and Nortman coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com. Yeah, they're football guys, but they don't shy away from the big topics of the day.
You make a really good argument. He could have been the greatest brewer ever and played for 5 months.
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Also sponsored by American Family Insurance.
And I stole his pants. I have a pair of CC's pants at the house.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Do they fit?
Why do you have CC's?
Well, they did. I'm not sure they do now, but yeah.
Weekdays 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN and available wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
For over 4 decades, one name has stood out as a symbol of excellence in automotive sales and service. It's the Boucher Automotive Group, dedicated to providing exceptional experiences to all of our valued customers.
We will help you find the perfect vehicle within your budget while respecting your time.
With 20 convenient locations, we're the one-stop destination for all your automotive needs.
At Boucher, we're your trusted partner on every mile of your journey, riding with you every mile since 1977. The Boucher Group has exciting news to share with you. We've expanded to better serve our community.
Introducing Nissan Lake Country, the newest addition to our family.
Step into our showroom and discover our exceptional selection of brand new Nissans.
We are also stocked with the best pre-owned options in the market.
And as we expand, we're not just growing our inventory, we're also growing our team.
So join a team that values your skills and celebrates your success.
Visit us online or in-store today and view our current job listings at bouchercareers.com.
The Saganiac Planning Marquette Conference Championship moment. The last Marquette Warriors were Great Midwest Conference champions. 1994, 10-2, 2 games better than St. Louis and UAB, 3 games better than the always tough Cincinnati and Bob Huggins, including a huge 1-point win at Cincinnati. And even more greatness made the Sweet 16 in the NCAA tourney. McIlvain, Key, Eford, Logdeman, Miller, McCaskill, Pieper, Abraham, and Crawford. 1994 Warriors champions. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service, is looking for a new team member. Apply now if you're a passionate salesperson, an entrepreneurial spirit, great presenter and problem solver. Help companies make important decisions regarding their employee benefit needs. We offer a strong compensation package and, of course, a top-notch employee benefit package. Don't miss out on this rare opportunity to become a part of Saganiac Planning. Call Big Papa John Saganiac Sr. 262-783-6161. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service.
It's time for the Ortho ASAP Minute from Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin.
I'm joined by Dr. Mike Jarkson. Doctor, how common is it for somebody to come into OAW with a pretty low quality of life due to pain and immobility, and for them to eventually see those problems go away?
It happens every day here at the Spine Center. Some cases certainly more drastic than others. We do have cases of patients who literally losing their ability to walk and unfortunately needed an operation and then 2 months later are walking normally again. That's incredibly rewarding. There's also those sports medicine cases where people, just as importantly, can't function the way they want to. That's equally rewarding. Okay, maybe they didn't have as grave a problem as the person who couldn't walk, but for them, it was just as important that they couldn't do the sport or the activity that they wanted to do. Also very rewarding to help those people return to their desired level of activity.
The Ortho ASAP Minute is sponsored by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference.
Hey, this is the Fat Jack, and we're heading into the middle of September. How did you do betting the games last week? Did you have teams like Auburn, maybe the New York Giants teams that got you into the hole, maybe the Kansas City Chiefs? This week, go to fatjacksports.com. Get signed up to turn a profit betting the games. The plays are texted to your cell phone. They're emailed to you, and they're going to get you into profit. Get everything through the month of September, only $299, and start making money betting the games against the spread. The Fat Jack Sports Service. No tricks, no gimmicks, just winners.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Dance with my dogs in the nighttime. Trap with the chickens like Popeye. Money changing colors like
KBN rolls on here. Kyle, Brust, and Nortman across ESPN Wisconsin. 800-990-3776 is the number to get in to interact with us, or you can hit us on Twitter at KBNESPN. But I did a horrible job yesterday. I was late in the show. Like, we should have done it right away. Like, happy birthday, Brad. It's your birthday. Celebrate. Everyone say something nice about him. But we didn't really do that. But he did enjoy a nice dinner last night with his wife, and some things popped off.
Oh, very good segue right there. Let me paint you a picture of what our my birthday dinner looked like. And it was a lovely dinner, don't get me wrong. It was absolutely lovely. We went to a steak joint out in Lake Country. Shout out Lake Country. I'm not going to name the establishment because I'm putting them a little bit on blast as well.
I like
Just
it.
A little bit
I like
on blast. So we're sitting there, we're having a beautiful dinner. It's into the evening. We've ordered a glass of wine and we're enjoying each other's company and things are going real well. Real well.
I'm glad after you've been married for 9 years.
Yeah, it only gets better, boys. It only gets better. So we're sitting there, and there's this couple next to us at a table that's neighboring ours, and they're probably in their late 60s, early 70s, and it's this gentleman's birthday as well. Just we overheard them. We didn't share happy birthday messages, but we didn't become friends with them or anything, but just observationally. So we're sitting there, and we have both of our red wine, and I order clam chowder. I finish my clam chowder. It was delicious, and we're waiting for our entree to come, and the table in front of us was just a little bit ahead of us, right? So they finished their meal. And they had this bottle of wine on the table, right? This bottle of wine, red wine. They poured themselves their own glasses, right? But they had still about a fourth of a glass each remaining of their glass of wine, and the bottle was at least half full. Half full.
At least?
At least half full. And Lexi and I, they got up, they paid their bill, and they left. And Lexi and I kind of look at each other, and we're like, we're kind of doing like one of these where you kind of like put your head down to see like what is the level at which the bottle of the wine is actually at in the bottle. And Lexi's trying to get like how much is that bottle? How much did they paid for it? So we find it on the wine menu. $80.
$80 half
for a bottle
Not
of
even
wine.
half drinking because there was some left over in the glasses.
Exactly.
Yeah, no.
So we're thinking like, okay, well, we just paid for our first glasses of wine. What's the harm in maybe seeing what the odds are? Maybe that paid for bottle of wine could be our paid for bottle of wine. So Lexi has a lot more intestinal fortitude when it comes to being bold and asking questions and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, whoa, baby, we don't need to do that. It's going to be weird, whatever. But she's like, no, I'm going to do it. So the hostess comes over. She starts clearing the table. The hostess even picks up the bottle of wine, does the kind of like rotational turn of it and looks at it inquisitively, seeing that there's actually wine in the bottle still. And Lexi notices this is my moment. So she says, hey, did they leave? And the woman goes, yeah, they left. They already paid. And Lexi's like, well, they still have wine in that bottle, don't they? And she's like, yeah, I guess they do. And Lexi's like, well, I don't know what you're going to do with it, but if you'd otherwise throw it out, we'd happily take it. And all she got was a yeah, and walks away. And so we were big time denied that. So we're sitting there and we're thinking, there's so many questions running through our mind. And I want to bring these questions to you guys in KBN Nation. I got 3 questions.
Let's hear them, Brad.
What should we have done? Should we have been more bold? Should we have just taken the bottle? Should we have said, hey, I think they just gave us that as a birthday gift, as a little bit of a fib? What would you do if you had a bunch of wine left over? Would you take that with you home? Would you leave it there? Would you give it to someone else?
Typically, I'm corking that thing and I'm taking it home.
Yeah. And finally, what did the restaurant do with it? Are they taking pulls in the kitchen of this paid-for wine bottle? Are they doubling up, making someone else pay another time for it? So here's
one quick follow-up,
boys.
Is the person who, the waiter or waitress who served the other couple, was it your server as well?
No, it was a different server.
Okay.
It was a different server.
Because I was wondering, because I would have hopefully built up a little rapport.
And we had that rapport going. I felt like we could have done that, but it was a different server.
Okay, so if it was your server, you think you would have pulled it off. That's where it's like, just take it.
Just take it?
Just take
Swipe it off the table?
Okay, over here, swiper, no swiping over there. Door to explore. So here's my thing about this. Now, first thing, I don't really like touching stuff that people I don't know have, like them drinking it. I know they corked it and there's a bottle.
You're one of them.
I'm a germaphobe.
Double dips?
Yeah. Oh, listen. I do not do double dipping. If you put, I don't eat chips. Those chips that Cousin Subs bring, a great partner, they bring those chips. All y'all do is put y'all nasty hands in those chips. So I can't even eat them. I will open the brand new bag. But I digress. I keep going. So no, I am not taking the bottle because I was taught better to take something that's not yours. I don't have time to be accused of stealing anything.
Yeah, so but it's wasted. It's either wasted or the crew's getting wasted.
It's not mine to take, so I'm not taking the bottle. Now, when it comes to the other aspect of what happened, like what do you think they did with it? You know exactly what they did.
Yeah, I don't know why we're trying to be naive
They
here.
was turning up, pouring up with that wine. They were just as
You think the employees are taking polls of it?
They were just as excited as you were to see that.
That's why she looked at you and she goes,
bottle of wine.
I'm going to take this with me.
This is for me, because anytime you probably have leftover food at different restaurants, I'm sure they eat some of the leftover food as well.
You think so?
Oh, they were excited. Just like the $80 looked good to you, they said, I've always wanted to try this bottle. And so the server, the waitress, the hostess, and all their friends.
Yeah, Brad, that was selfish, actually. You know what? That was selfish of you guys.
I agree.
Oh, my goodness. It's my birthday.
Pay for your damn meal.
Yeah, it's your birthday. You need to be talking to your wife about why you didn't get the $80 bottle. Why am I drinking wine by the glass?
It tastes a little bit better on someone else's dollar.
Yeah, sure.
A little bit better.
Does.
So now I know why you got out of investment banking. It wasn't going good enough. He joined radio. We don't make money here. He's trying to get some wine. Some $80 bottles of wine he can't get anymore.
But shout out to your wife, Lexi, for actually having, you said, that intestinal fortitude.
Yeah,
because
at least ask the question.
Because I already know you probably had that sense of embarrassment or nervousness, like, okay, you're going to do it. And you're like, all right, cool. And you were just like, look at you go.
Yeah.
And you were just hoping.
I was a proud husband.
Yeah, I bet you were. I need that in my life one day.
Daniel, the official landscaper of KBN Nation, chimes in. I'm so glad you have a Jason Wilde on your show. Does Kyle also separate his food on his plate because he doesn't like his food touching like Wilde?
Okay, shots fired. This is Daniel. Daniel the Sloth?
The official landscaper of KBN Nation.
Daniel, don't get fired on day one, because this is your first day as the official landscaper. You will get fired taking shots at me.
I will say, Kyle's making this a much harder application process.
Yeah. This ain't new. I mean, this is a new thing. We ain't letting just anybody have anything in any title around here. And no, I actually love to mix up my food because I think it tastes much more delicious. That's why I love the holiday season, because I got my greens and my mac and cheese and my dressing and the gravy and everything together. So I like my food to touch. I'm not as anal as Jason Wilde.
I think you proved that with me. I mean, that's the ultimate foods touching. That's foods converging.
I mean, it's milk and cookies. That's what you're supposed to do.
Well, the KBN Nation is getting after Brad a little bit with his loose eyes yesterday looking for the open bottle of wine. 1, don't take another table scraps. 2, let the staff take the extras. That's Hilsey. He chimes in all the way in Seattle. Yeah, $80 bottle of wine.
That's not scraps.
No, it is scraps.
It's scraps.
Don't be a little scraps.
What do you think they pour the glasses that we got? That's from an already open bottle of wine too.
I mean, but it is scraps. It's left over.
How is that any different from an already open bottle of wine?
They're basically saying, stop acting like you're a person from the Newsies.
Ben's bodyguard of KBN Nation chimes in and says, me being me, I would have took it to the back and put it behind for them to serve themselves. Now, that's a true class. You know, Kyle, this is a good learning lesson for our 34-year-old Brad.
And I'll say this too. It's not even about the cost. It's about not being wasteful. We just don't want to be wasteful. You're not gonna order an $80 bottle.
I hope you know we're gonna be watching when we go to lunch and dinner. You better eat everything that's on your plate.
I'm gonna eat it all. I will finish my plate. I'm the clean plate club kind of guy.
Brad, now you're really trying to create this here. I love you, Brad. I'm starting to really like you. You know, we had that beef on Monday, but I'm coming around to it. But you talking about don't be wasteful.
Yeah.
You were being selfish because of the fact that you knew if that bottle was gonna stay there, somebody was probably gonna drink it, and you wanted to be you.
That's right. I did want it to be me.
800-990-3776. Pat from Madison chimes in. Hey, Brad, I taught Serve Safe and grew up in the service industry. 1, the back of the house and other staffers may have kept it. I've done that before. Health code, they really shouldn't let anyone other than those order it take it. The crew, the front, the back of the house get shwasted no matter what.
Wow. They got shwasted on some good stuff last night.
Some good $80 bottle of wine right there. We had some interesting comments from David Bakhtiari yesterday, and it might have been today, but he talks about Jordan Love, and we talk about expectations moving forward. We talk about the Jets and the Packers, who's going to have a better record. A lot of that goes to one person. Number 10. We'll hear what David Bakhtiari had to say about Jordan Love. Coming back in 2 minutes. It's KBN. Woo! I am thirsty today. Definitely going to need a cold one. There's the one. I've got Blake's Hard Cider in my hand, and there's always great options to choose from. Sean Gerber from Blake's is joining me to give us the scoop on how Blake's Hard Cider is making waves.
2023 actually marks the 10th anniversary for Blake's Hard Cider. It's fun to look back at how far you've come. In 2013, when we first started, it was a one-man operation run by Andrew Blake in the back room of his family's farm. They sold cider out of large format bottles to a couple local stores, to a couple local bars, and then out of the store that they had there at the orchard. You fast forward to 2023 and Blake's is sold in over 30 states, and we're growing quickly. We have plans to expand even beyond that.
Thanks to Sean from Blake's Hard Cider for joining me this week. Remember, folks, especially now that the weather's starting to turn, the fridge should always be stocked.
They say seeing is believing, and when you see what's inside at American Place Casino, you better believe you're gonna love it. Because when it comes to amazing gaming, we're a real game changer. With the most exciting of table games like blackjack, craps, and roulette, the newest slots, a sportsbook, restaurants, bars, and more. So if you're ready for excitement, we'll see you soon. American Place Casino. Change the game.
Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537.
Hey, it's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Brust. Men can be their own worst critics, especially as we get older and compare our current self to the younger version. The experts at Forward Healthy Lifestyles in Germantown help men with testosterone optimization, regenerative medicines, heart health screenings, weight loss, and yes, sexual enhancement services. Forward Healthy Lifestyles can offer regained energy and endurance, more muscle and tone, enhanced performance, joint therapies, and more. Change your life and stop comparing who you are now to who you used to be. Visit forwardhealthylifestyles.com for a free consultation.
Marquette Hall of Famer Tony Smith here. You're listening to the home of Marquette basketball. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. Broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, presented by Bud Light on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
KBN keeps rolling on. Kyle, Brust, and Nortman across ESPN Wisconsin. Brad Nortman celebrated his 34th birthday last night, and we learned that him and his wife were celebrating, having a glass of wine themselves, and next to his table was a half-drinking bottle and 2 glasses with about a fourth of wine left in it. And they got a little interested and found out it was an $80 bottle of wine and asked if they're not doing anything with it, they'll drink it. Now, Brad, are you okay with me saying that your stance is that you didn't want to be wasteful?
It played a role. All right. Because if we're talking about food safety, all that kind of stuff.
No, that fell into your lap.
They throw things out if they want anyone. If we're so concerned about everybody else, hey, I'm willing to raise my hand and say I will take that problem off your hands.
All right, so here's what I got for you. Q from Heartland chimes in. He says, "No way Brad asks for the wine leftovers if it's a half bottle of an $8 bottle of wine."
Oh. You know what? That's a great counterpoint.
Yeah,
Q and Heartland.
Q and Heartland's catching you on the I just didn't want to be wasteful nonsense.
Respect. Yeah. I respect that response. And I would still drink. I'm not a wine snob. All wine is created equal to me, so I'll take that $8.
You were very specific and detailed in that story. How you looked up the prices. Oh,
hey babe. What's that one?
That's $20 a glass.
800-990-3776. We go to the ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line. Let's go to Gary in Minnesota. Gary, welcome into KBN.
What's up, Ben Buddy?
Hey, how are ya?
It's Trucker Gary.
Hey, Gary. Gosh, I love your voice every time I hear it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And I got to say, I started listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy just because Josh Buddy's on there.
Good. We love Joshy DiMaggio. I hope he's bringing some good vibes down there.
Yeah, we do. I can't wait to have a beer with you clowns.
Open invite, 3rd Street Market Hall.
Well, Josh has got my number. I'm waiting on you. If you're waiting on me, you're backing up.
Okay, I love that. See, Joshy holds these things from me, Gary. You think you can literally come to the 3rd Street Market Hall. We have glass for you to look in and see us. If you are here any day at 5 o'clock and you knock on that door, I promise you I'll have a beer with you.
All righty, that'll work.
Done. Love it, Gary.
That'll work. So I gotta be in the KBN Nation there and be Trucker Gary.
So we do have Trucker Mark. Now, how can you differentiate? No, Gary's going to be a part of KBN Nation.
Yeah.
We just got to find out, what is there something more specific? Like we got a beer truck delivery guy. Like what are you hauling around, if you can say?
I deliver everything from food to steel to soda, booze, everything.
Are you regional or are you all over the country?
Over the road.
I love it.
I just got back from Arkansas and then went back to Wisconsin, dropped a trailer, picked up a trailer, and now I'm in Minnesota.
So, Gary, we appreciate the call. What we're going to do, we're going to take this into KBN Nation headquarters and make sure we come up with the right title for our guy, Gary. Gary, thanks again. Again, doesn't he have the best laugh of all time?
The best. How great is that?
See, this is going to be good when Josh and I get together because I love his.
Yes.
So, and I got a lot of good jokes from my days in the Army. So we'll see what happens.
All right, Gary. I love you so much.
Bye, pal. Have a good day, bud.
Chris, at the end of the segment, I need his laugh on the way out. We don't need anything else. We don't need a song. We just need Gary's laugh. 800-990-3776. We're taking applications to be a part of KBN Nation, but I want to move the conversation forward as David Bakhtiari had some comments about Jordan Love on the Rich Eisen show that got us opening our ears a little bit.
I mean, he's in his 4th year, so there's a different expectation for a first-year starting quarterback when you're in your 4th year. We know and we understand the talent he has based on where he was drafted and coming in. So he's had 3 years to sit and really understand, master the offense, take his time, fine-tune some techniques at the quarterback position. But that's kind of what I expected to have out of him being out there. And that's, I think, at least the expectation moving forward.
So that's the key part right there. The expectation moving forward, right? And did he play like a 10 out of 10? No, I'd give him an 8.5 out of 10, right? Like, and that's a very, very good grade. You can go pass rating, you can go QBR. That's just me making something up on the spot right there, right? He played well on 3rd and 4th down, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, no turnovers, 245 yards. But what scares me is setting the expectation to what we saw in week 1 is a scary proposition because the Bears defense was no good. And it was his first start. Now, I think it's good internally to sort of keep expectations high, but externally, the more you raise that, the more pressure that comes, you can either burst or you can thrive.
Well, and how he performed week 1 against the Bears, that stat line, how he looked, everything about him, his composure, his leadership, that is a top 10 quarterback performance right there. So if we expect that week in and week out, boy, this team would be a very, very special team. And is he ready for that kind of expectation? Is he ready for that role to be considered a top 10 quarterback and be held to that standard? I don't know if I'm there yet. I want to see some more out of him before I say, yeah, this is what you should be doing every week. We're talking about no interceptions, multiple touchdown passes, incredibly efficient, and not even efficient in totality, but situationally efficient. Look at his 3rd down and 4th down in the red zone, 3 for 3 in the red zone. I mean, it could not have gone better for Jordan Love's debut. But you just know there's going to be the ups and downs. And even looking back at Aaron Rodgers' first year in 2008, in almost the same situation, this stat line trumped Rodgers week 1 and his first time against the Bears. So, look, that's on the trajectory of a future Hall of Famer. I would push the gas just a little bit.
Now, see, the thing that we have to understand is this is Green Bay. And in Green Bay, for most of the franchise history, the ones that I can actually talk to people who've been around for the franchise history, meaning my parents, is that we have set the standard of what quarterback play looks like. Now, I understand the 70s and the 80s were rough years for Packers fans. Thank goodness I was not alive at that time. But the last 30-plus years, we have seen exceptional quarterback play, but it didn't just start there. Bart Starr was also a great leader of men and a great leader of a team as well. So this is just the standard that has been set by the organization, and the Packers did something that they did with Aaron Rodgers and now they did with Jordan Love, is they let Jordan Love sit back, they let him learn, and they let him prepare. And so this is why I believe we're underselling how good that performance was, because when Brock Purdy tore it up last year at a certain point, we're all like, he's great. You're ready to move on from the starting quarterback, Trey. I can't remember Trey's last name.
Trey Lance.
Trey Lance, thank you. We were able to move on from Trey Lance. So we saw a good enough performance where we should believe that the standard should be set, and David Bakhtiari would not be saying this if he did not have belief and confidence in what his eyes have told him the last couple of years and how he feels about this locker room. So I believe that that's okay for him to set that standard, and the expectation should be that he plays at a high level each week.
I think, this. I'm just, it's hard for me to take Bakhtiari at his word right now.
Why is that?
Because of the same reason why your guy on Sunday Karma, Craig Karmazin from 10 to noon on Sundays, said the Packers should cut him. Right? It's not that long ago that David Bakhtiari was acting like a disgruntled employee for the Green Bay Packers. Like, let's be honest with ourselves. And so I think he went through a period in which, it was Aaron's gone, all these guys are leaving. Do I want to be here? I'm a veteran. He talked about a rebuild. Right now he's kind of changing his tune. He's saying, oh, it's a rebuild, but we have, we're rebuilding something positive, right? Like, the way he's changed, the way he's trying to be received by Packer fans is smart. I'd be doing the same thing because I'm going to be likely in the Green Bay Packers Hall of Fame if I'm him, right? He just went from somebody who lost some credibility in terms of, how he felt to now he's trying to win everybody back.
No, I don't think it's that. I honestly believe he went out week one and he saw how well this team performed. Everybody has potential. You go into the season, and Brad, you've been part of it, and you too, Ben. But Brad, you've been a part of it where come week one, when you're on a team that you think has something there, if you actually come out and handle business, you're like, this might be something. The year you all went to the Super Bowl, I'm sure you had Super Bowl aspirations, but you had no idea how well that season would go. But you build confidence, and I think David Bakhtiari saw what we had, and he saw the performance of his teammates that he went out and war with, or football war with, and he was very impressed of what he saw, which built his confidence to truly believe that this team actually has a chance to be successful and compete.
Why is it when I look up Brad Nortman on Google and do Pro Football Reference, the first 3 pictures that come up are you throwing the ball? This is bizarre.
Because I'm an offensive weapon, boy.
One for one, right?
For 1 for 1. 2 times running the ball in Wisconsin. You gotta put a QB spy on me when I'm out there punting the ball. You gotta be careful now. I don't know how my Wikipedia page though is me throwing the football.
Wow, you have a whole Wikipedia page. You got all your little information. Shoot. You got married in 2014, huh?
Yeah. Wow. What else is on there?
Kyle, there's a surprise on mine that you'll get a kick out of.
Oh wow. Oh, you got a Wikipedia. Oh, I'm the loser here, huh? Wow.
Yeah, you are.
That's all right though. I don't need a wiki page.
At the end of our era of KBN, we'll make sure you get a Wikipedia page.
I appreciate that, my man.
We'll get you there.
Yeah. And coming back to Jordan Love, don't you think, though, that maybe, you're right, though, expectations and culture can evolve. The more you do, the more there is of expectation and confidence and hope that, oh my gosh, you might have something here. Don't you think, though, that maybe these expectations aren't good for Jordan Love?
No, they should be. He should be fine with it. If you are going to be a starter in the NFL, you should not give a dang about what other people are saying about your expectations. He should hold himself to a high standard. What he saw for the previous 3 seasons was almost excellence. Everything that when he looks up in the Ring of Honor, he sees names of excellence. The mystique of Lambeau Field. He understands what he is basically signing up for, and that's to be a leader of the Green Bay Packers, and he should be excited about that. So no, expectations, pressure. If I have a quarterback that's afraid of expectations and pressures, I don't have a quarterback.
But you know that a lot of guys hear that, right? I mean, Kevin Durant had a burner account, and Rodgers is well known for knowing exactly what people are saying about him. And don't you think that it's impossible to not hear the rumblings, especially if it's like, oh, well, here we go, Jordan Love, you're not the same guy and all this kind of stuff. Don't you think he'd want an environment of support and like, okay, let me grow into this great quarterback?
He should be an elite athlete where he can hear the noise but ignore it and stay focused and locked in.
That's such a hard task that you're asking a first-year starter to do.
Why can't he? Why are we holding him to a lower standard? I expect him to do that. He is a professional. I expect him to be able to read what he sees.
Because think about how many elite quarterbacks there are, right? Like, why Why put more expectation and pressure on someone that you really want to succeed? Let it just grow with it. It's not, again, so we're at week 1 still. I'm going to lose my mind listening to you talk as if everything's going to the Super Bowl this year.
Wait a minute.
I know where your predictions are, but the way you talk is not how your predictions are. So my point,
I'm excited.
My point being is, it's not that long ago that we were literally talking about Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur was doing what? Tempering expectations. Matt LaFleur, the head coach, was doing that. And now we're past the freaking Chicago Bears who suck, and you're like, I want the highest expectations. So, That's setting yourself up for fan failure.
You know what? I didn't see none of this energy of the Bears suck on Sunday.
Because it was before the season. We're all hypothesizing, Kyle.
Maybe, just maybe, the Bears aren't as terrible as we think, and maybe the Green Bay Packers are really that good. Maybe Jordan Love is really that good. Have we ever thought about the other side of maybe this kid went out there in his first opportunity on national TV, everybody was watching him, replacing an absolute legend who replaced an absolute legend, and then quarterback before quarterback before quarterback. Eventually Brust was there, but replacing all these legends, and he stood up, he stood out, he played so well, and he came out as somebody that we trusted and somebody we're confident in. Let's give this man appreciation for what he did when he already had to come into a situation where everybody was downing him and worried about him, and he shined right through. So I'm going to support the man.
800-990-3776. Our expectations too high for Jordan Love because David Bakhtiari says he set the expectation. I think that is not the right thing to do. Kyle Wallace is bleeding green and gold goggles, everything. I think Brad's got a steady head. But I want to hear from you, KBN Nation, 800-990-3776. We continue the conversation next.
More Kyle, Brust, and Nortman coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Northbound on 43, we've got an issue. Right about at Locust, we've got an accident that is blocking the left lane. So it's going to be a slow crawl coming up from Fond du Lac Avenue. The southbound side, also going to be a bit slow. It's going to be about a 20-minute ride to get from Brown Deer Road into downtown. Delays kicking in right before Silver Spring. Westbound on 94, we are looking at a little bit of a backup from 25th Street all the way through the Stadium interchange. Traffic is brought to you by James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner. Visit JamesImaging.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, mainly clear and cool, low of 54 at the lake, 45 inland. Tomorrow, sunny and beautiful, a high of 71 at the lake, 75 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats. Now through Wednesday, save on 6 to 18-ounce selected varieties Frito-Lay party-size snacks, 2 for $9. 14.5 to 15-ounce selected varieties Red Gold tomatoes or sauce, 4 for $5. 4 to 6-count selected varieties Dannon multi-pack yogurt, 2 for $6. 14.01 to 33.5-ounce selected varieties Culinary Circle pizza, $5.49.
Let's see, spices, cardamom, hibiscus powder. It's like looking at Green Bay's roster right now. I don't recognize it, but I'll learn to love it.
Attention Century shoppers. You're going to love this opportunity. Win 2 tickets to see Green Bay play Kansas City on December 3rd. Autographed Packers footballs or 4 packs of Hall of Fame tickets.
I'd love to see Green Bay's new QB in action and win those tickets. What do I do?
Find the weekly code on Century's Facebook or Instagram and enter to win.
Love it. Getting the Century code on Insta right now.
Ends November 14th.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Get to and from every home game in Green Bay this football season safely. Milwaukee Brat House, Jack's American Pub, and Wanakee Golf Course all offer transportation on game days. They've got bus services with private restrooms and all-you-can-drink packages. Book your round-trip ride from any of these locations and get complimentary access to an all-you-can-eat and drink tailgate at the bar on Holmgren Way. Make your game day experience a VIP experience with your official ride to Green Bay.
Men's wedding bands made from whiskey barrels and meteorites.
Welcome to Kessler's.
Stay up to date on the green and gold all season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
For general contest rules, visit ESPNWisconsinContest.com.
1, 2, 3. It's a Green Bay game day takeover on Sunday.
It's official. Something came out of your mouth wrong. Welcome to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy take the air on Sunday for Green Bay game day ahead of the Green and Gold taking on Atlanta in another road game.
What about the Packers would scare them?
Jair.
That's exactly what I was going to say. In man coverage,
Yeah.
Jair in man.
He either needed to be really bad, which he's not, or he needs to be really good.
Tune in starting at 9 on Sunday for Green Bay game day right here on ESPN Wisconsin. This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Shout out to freshman year before heading out to play in a basketball game. All the Lights was being played. Good vibe. You know what songs just put you in a moment? Isn't that crazy? I don't remember crap from school, but you can play a song and I remember where I was. This is KBN, Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, 800-990-3776. David Bakhtiari said Jordan Love's play in week 1 has set the expectation. I think that's a wrong expectation to set because it was the Bears, because it was 1 week, and that's putting too much pressure on your quarterback. You want to continue to build up. Kyle adamantly disagrees with me. He wants the expectations, but we want to hear from you, KBN Nation. We'll start Nathan and Racine. Nathan, welcome in to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman.
Hey, fellas. Yeah, I totally think that was a salty Bakhtiari crying and putting undue expectations on Jordan. We all know he's a Rodgers boy. He's salty that Rodgers left. He didn't get to go with them. He's probably salty that Rodgers went out in the first game because he probably had dreams that we were going to stink and he would try to weasel his way through a trade to Jets. So the Jets at some point this year to help their abysmal offensive line. So if you're an actual Jordan Love supporter, you don't say that. He had a great game. To say that he should do better than what he did in week 1, if you were actually on Jordan's side, I think you'd take the high road and you'd say that he did a good job on Sunday and that he needs to worry about his own expectations and try to stay on the field for Jordan for 17 games, something he hasn't done for any quarterback in quite a while.
Yeah, appreciate the call, Nathan. And like the thing is we're threading a little bit of a needle because I did try and bring up the disgruntled David Bakhtiari thing. He supported him, but he didn't need to, in my opinion, put it to a point of like, this is how it should be. Like he's threading the needle of like, we're rebuilding in a different clip, right? Chris, can we play the other David Bakhtiari sound? Because I think this will play good into the conversation, right? And this may help Nate's argument because this is what David Bakhtiari said about how they're in a rebuild, but a good team.
It's a good football team. I think people forgot, like, with all the things moving on. And I mean, even me, like, I still have no problem saying, like, this is a rebuild off of Aaron Rodgers. Mm-hmm. But I mean, like, this, you have no idea what you're going to get, with a young team and the foundation of the team, and the trenches are set on both sides of the ball. And there's a lot of good pieces in some really important places. And it showed out on Sunday. And I was pleasantly pleased. And I think I had said that earlier in the week. I think I had some interview and I was like, if the Packers are looking to try and tank, like, good luck, because it's tough with the quality of guys that I saw and the type of play style that we had and how good of a defense that we have, seeing the pieces come together through training camp.
That David Bakhtiari on the Rich Eisen show. And as like I was kind of saying, he's playing a little middleman, right? We're rebuilding, but Jordan Love, you set the expectations.
I feel like we all know a David Bakhtiari in our life, right? He just he can't just say something that just is totally spun positive.
Is he from the school of Rodgers?
He might be. He might be. That's why they're best buddies, right? Because, I mean, I feel like he's hedging his bet a little bit. This whole offseason, he's been disgruntled and angry. We're rebuilding. Almost get the impression he doesn't really want to be there. Now it's like, well, maybe there's hope. Maybe there's something more to it. And he still can't get over we're rebuilding from Aaron Rodgers. Come on, man.
But you are rebuilding from Aaron Rodgers. And when he said pleasantly pleased, he meant to say pleasantly surprised at how well we played and how good we played. And so now, I will admit, I don't think David Bakhtiari, I think he was disgruntled. I think he did want to leave because of the fact that it was a transition. I mean, the Packers are, if not the youngest, one of the youngest teams in the NFL. And nobody, when they're in their 30s with a bad knee, wants to just be playing football to play football. He wants to win a title. But when he went out there and he saw the way that his team performed, he really felt confident in the fact that, you know what? We do have a really good offensive line. We do have a really good defense. This team actually could be something special. So he now sees that potential that I was talking about already. I see the potential, David. We are together. So most definitely, I really do think that David Bakhtiari is starting to come around. And I don't mind him saying, hey, he has set the standard. He's not a baby. He's a grown man. And I expect for Jordan Love to step up and continue to play well.
Well, we're going back and forth side to side, but the man you want on your side is Jason Madison. I will say for now, just my bodyguard of the official bodyguard of the KBN Nation. But he says, my brother Kyle, you're talking my language. I agree 100%. Jordan is not a rookie. He has 3 years to learn from a Hall of Fame QB, has a legend as a QB coach. It's a little heavy, Jason. You're not a legend yet. And one of the best run organizations around him. Expectations should be high because of those reasons that we witnessed on Sunday. So,
all right, our bodyguard, Jason and Madison. That's what's up.
Yeah, you want him on your side.
I mean, call me his brother, so I mean, that's what's up. I'm good when I walk around these mean streets of Madison.
800-990-3776. That's the ESPN Wisconsin Talking Text line. Let's go to Sean in Hartford. Sean, welcome into Kyle, Brust, and Nortman.
Hey, Kyle, I'm going to call you my brother, too, because I love your energy, man.
Thank you.
You're bringing a lot to the show. You're awesome. I'm telling you.
All right, we got to
take it easy, Sean. Take it easy.
KB Nation. Hey, we gonna throw him on KB Nation. He's on the list as well. He's gonna be something for the
Kyle's hype man.
I need that. No, he's got me fired up. I'll tell you what. Let's look at the big picture, okay? Seriously. So, can the Packers improve from what they did against the Bears? First of all, remember, it's Packers-Bears. We still scored 38 points, and we held them to 20, and that last touchdown they got was a gimme, right? So we held them to 12 points, whatever that number is. Okay, so who didn't have a good game? A.J. Dillon, right? So there's room for improvement, A.J. Dillon. Who else? Who only played a half a game because the coach only let him play a half a game? Aaron Jones. He played that second half better than the first half because he got the ball. The first half, he wasn't even getting the ball. And then who didn't play in this game? Watson. Now, as a big picture for a team, you can't put it all on one guy. Let's look at the team. The team has room for improvement. Now go to defense. Rashad Gary, he was on a play count. They only let him play third downs. Our defense can even get better. So here we go, boys. Buckle up.
There's the energy Sean in Hartford is loving from Kyle Wallace. You got him ready to, already book his ticket to the Super Bowl.
I just buckled up for the ride. You talk about get ready for the show. I'm buckled up for that.
Yeah, I said take the seatbelt off and enjoy the ride for the next 3 hours. You want to buckle up and head on over to Las Vegas this year?
Las Vegas. Yeah, I'm all for it. Listen, I talked about how I fly Frontier, but my Packers are better than Frontier. My Packers are elite like Delta.
Oh. Wow, now too many airline drop-ins from you today.
Maybe I'm trying to get an endorsement here. All
right, well, let's cut those, Chris, so we can work on Kyle, Mr. Flying Frontier for God knows what reason. Where you should be driving to or flying to, if you're listening around the country, is Road America, because Road America is one of my favorite places in the entire world. 4-mile road course, 14-turn road course, tons of great action on the track. You had an Indy car there, you had NASCAR there, you have vintage cars there, you have motocross there. You have literally everything going on at Road America, and they have the family fun zone, they have a beach area, they have go-karts. There's something in Road America for everyone to enjoy. Great food. Kids 16 and under with the paying adult at the gate. Get in free. Think about affordable family fun and end the 2023 race season this weekend with the Aaron's Art of Wheels Vintage Weekend, wrapping up the 2023 season. Get your tickets at roadamerica.com. That's roadamerica.com. Come for the experience and stay for the race. Packers reporter on ESPN's NFL Nation, Rob Demovsky, joins us next on Kyle Brust and Nortman for his debut on the show.
KBN is back after this on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Northbound on 43, we've got an issue. Right about at Locust, we've got an accident that is blocking the left lane. So it's going to be a slow crawl coming up from Fond du Lac Avenue. The southbound side also going to be a bit slow. It's going to be about a 20-minute ride to get from Brown Deer Road into downtown. Delays kicking in right before Silver Spring. Westbound on 94, we are looking at a little bit of a backup from 25th Street all the way through the Stadium interchange. Traffic is brought to you by James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner. Visit JamesImaging.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, mainly clear and cool, a low of 54 at the lake, 45 inland. Tomorrow, sunny and beautiful, a high of 71 at the lake, 75 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga, 94.5 ESPN.
It's football season at Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas, featuring the best pool in history, Stadium Swim. 3 levels, 6 pools, and a 143-foot diagonal screen. Stadium Swim is America's favorite place to watch football. Located at Circa Resort and Casino, open 365 days a year, and it will be the place to be for Green Bay's first ever visit to Las Vegas. Plus, the ESPN Wisconsin team will be live on site. Book your stay today at circalasvegas.com. That's circalasvegas.com.
Kevin Murat here from Mentality Men's Health. We hear stories every day in our clinics that what used to work for guys doesn't anymore. Increased cardio, cut out certain food, nothing stops the changes in their bodies, especially the weight. The fact is, years of decreasing testosterone has packed on the belly fat that won't go away. We've introduced a medication, semaglutide, that helps drop 15% of the body weight on average while preserving testosterone. Join the over 20,000 Mentality clients and jumpstart your results. In Milwaukee, go to lowtusa.com. That's lowtusa.com.
Hi, this is Wayne Larrabee, the voice of Green Bay football. You know, fans count on me to make the right call every time, and I can continue to do that thanks to Summit Eye Care of Wisconsin. When my vision began to drift, my eye doctor said Summit Eye Care was the best place to go. Using the latest adjustable implants, the doctors at Summit were able to fine-tune my vision. In fact, my vision is now the best it's ever been. Summit Eye Care was the right call to help me see all the action on game days.
To schedule an appointment at one of their locations, visit summitiwi.com.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Tailgating is back, Wisconsin. Have you ever wondered how tailgating started? One theory is that it started during the first college football game in 1869, as spectators spent their pregame ritual grilling sausages at, of all places, the tail end of a horse. Another is that tailgating started in 1919 during the first Green Bay football season. Fans backed up their pickups to the field, folded down their tailgates for seating, and served food and beverages. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. Since 1960, we've been the place to stock up for all your tailgate rituals. With over 2,000 varieties of beer, 3,500 types of liquor, and over 8,000 wines, Discount Liquor is your one-stop tailgate shop. Discount Liquor in Milwaukee on 51st and Oklahoma, and in downtown Waukesha on Main and Barstow. See all of our weekly specials at DiscountLiquorInc.com.
Discount Liquor.
Gabe, where do you think our group should be taking our golf trip next year?
Jason, I don't know. Do you have time to figure it all out and get all the reservations made? I certainly don't.
Not really. I mean, I'm so busy. If I only knew somebody to call that might do all the work for us.
Oh, I know about Wisconsin Golf Trips. Their main business is booking groups from around the world to play all the great courses in our state, but they're now doing outbound trips for groups each year to places like Michigan, Minnesota, and Nevada. Plus, Wisconsin Golf Trips is even booking custom packages for Scotland and Ireland.
Oh, wow. Let's hit them up.
WisconsinGolfTrips.com.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Kyle, Brust, and Nortman across ESPN Wisconsin. We're presented by Bud Light, the official beer of the NFL. I'm Ben Brust, along with Kyle Wallace, Brad Nortman, Chris Larson running the show, and we are very excited to be joined now by ESPN NFL reporter covering the Green Bay Packers, Rob Demovsky. Rob, welcome into your official first time on our show. You joined us on the Green Bay Game Day pregame show heading into the Bears game. How are you doing today, Rob?
I'm doing great. We just got out of the Packers locker room, and the whole time, Ben, I'm thinking, God, I just want to get out of here so I can go talk to those guys at 3:30. Like Jordan Love wrap this thing up. Let's get on with it.
I love it. Yeah, we love that type of energy. We've had the energy, but what I want to start with you is, so Brad Nortman had his 34th birthday. Happy belated birthday, Brad.
You guys are kids.
Yes. Yeah. 34, 32, 33?
At 34, I tore my ACL in a City League basketball game and ended my career right there. So it's all
don't say that, Rob, because I'm like starting to play in leagues again, like watching Rodgers thing. Like I'm scared. I'm scared every time I step on the floor. But anyway. Yes, we digress about our impending injuries. That being said, Brad went out to dinner with his lovely wife, and the table next to them had a nice bottle of wine. They left with a fourth of a wine in their glass. Half the bottle was not drinking. Is this fair?
That's correct. It was an $80 bottle of wine.
And so they looked it up. It was $80 bottle of wine. What do you do in this scenario?
I can see where this is going.
Are you asking the waiter or waitress, hey, if you're not going to drink that, can we have that? Do you grab it? Do you do nothing? What are you doing in that scenario?
I don't think I do it. I don't touch it because here's the thing. Hopefully, my wife and I already had a fine bottle of some of one of our favorites, perhaps the Prisoner, which is a favorite of ours.
Hey, that's Papa Brust fave.
Yeah, so I would say we've already had one. Now, if it's with a bunch of buddies, somebody grabs. Somebody definitely. Of my friends, 100% somebody grabs it.
Explain yourself, Brad, because your wife asked. How did that go?
She said, she's like, hey, did those folks leave? And the waitress said, yeah, they did. And they're like, do they still have wine in that bottle? And she said, yeah. And Lexi was like, well, if you're not going to do anything with it, if you're just going to dump it out, will you take it? And there was just kind of like a yeah, moving away from the room. So, I mean, I figure, look, I love a glass of wine as much as anybody else, particularly one that my own dollar buys. But think how much better.
Are you sure?
Well, hold on.
It sounds like you wanted the $80
Think
more.
how much better it would be when it's someone else's. It'd be like a birthday present to yourself, right? It's like a birthday present to yourself.
That's awesome. I love that.
Well, Rob, I want to get it started here because David Bakhtiari spoke on the Rich Eisen show, and I can't figure out his vibe. He was kind of disgruntled in the summer. Now he's like saying it's a rebuild, but like Jordan Love has set the expectation from what he did in week 1. I don't think that's fair to Jordan Love. The Bears sucked.
Yeah, no, that's true. They do stink. Worse than I thought, to be honest. But I think as we talked about on Sunday on the pregame show, like they have a real chance to get off to a fast start with the schedule. I mean, I know Atlanta was probably maybe a little better than we thought. But they have them. They have New Orleans. How many points combined did the Falcons and Saints score?
Saints had 16. I think Falcons won 28-10, but it was a nasty 24-10. It was nasty.
Yeah, so not a ton of points. I mean, so you got an opportunity there, and then you come home to probably the biggest game of the early part of the season, Detroit on Thursday night here at Lambeau. So, I mean, they could end up being 3-1, 4-0, and we still don't know if they're any good. And look, with Bakhtiari, I'm never sure what to make of him, but the more he talks, the better it is for us in the media because he always gives us something to write about.
Outside of Jordan Love, is there a player on the team that you felt like or the organization felt like needed to take a step forward, and they took that step forward on Sunday?
Actually, it was, Brett, I thought you were going to say just took a step forward and hasn't taken one, because I do think that there was one that I was, I guess, and I'm sure the team was a little bit disappointed in. A.J. Dillon didn't have an overly productive day, and the reason that I think that's important is that they're probably going to need him this week. Aaron Jones didn't practice at all today, and that's not a good sign with the hamstring injury. The step that I think maybe a lot of people had hoped in the organization would happen and did was Zach Tom. I mean, he was unreal at right tackle. I mean, the whole line really was. And I know the Bears' defensive front isn't all that good, but for a first time as you're really the full-time starter at right tackle, I mean, I don't think he heard Zach Tom's name once. And then when you did notice him, he was just putting people on their rear end. So I think those are the two guys that did that, one good, one bad.
Talking with Rob Domofsky, Packers reporter for ESPN.com. He just got done talking with Jordan Love. Was there anything that you learned today from Jordan?
Nothing that I learned, but just reaffirming some things. I mean, the guy's unflappable. He really is. Like he answered, all the Aaron Rodgers questions exactly how he should have. Yeah, I texted Aaron. I feel bad for him. I've no doubt if he wants to play again, he's gonna play again. All those things. He said the right things, which on the flip side doesn't make for overly exciting stuff for us. But I just continue to be sort of, blown away by his just how composed he is. I mean, like even, I've seen a lot of quarterbacks come through here, not necessarily guys that became starters, but I mean the starters here, I should say, but like the Matt Hasselbecks of the world, the Aaron Brookses, the Matt Flynn's. I mean, those guys were not, they were not unflappable like this guy is. And I really would like to know where that comes from and how he sort of has developed that. My suspicion is he won't give a very good answer because he's so focused on, just the task at hand. But I think that probably more than any other outside factor, obviously the training, the football, knowing the plays, that's all important. But the most important thing that has nothing to do with that is just how poised and unflappable this guy
Real
is.
quickly, this is like the exact opposite of what you've dealt with the last 30 years, right?
I can't remember what Aaron was like the first year, so I really can't. I remember what he was like on the field. Like I remember thinking not so much in 05 his rookie year, but 06, 07, and then when he became the starter, that this dude's got a cannon attached to his right arm, and he's replacing a guy who had a cannon attached to his right shoulder, But I don't remember much about the Rodgers' approach and demeanor. I do remember that the more success he had, the more his personality came out. And I don't know if that's what Jordan's going to be or not. I did ask Brian Gutekunst, haven't used this quote yet, but I'll dump it here on the radio, about, the idea that a quarterback has to have a big personality. I had a one-on-one with Gutekunst 2 weeks ago for something I'm working on later on. And I asked him, like, are you worried that, just Jordan doesn't have the kind of big personality? Has there ever been a great quarterback that didn't have that personality? I really had a hard time thinking of him. And just in our time, Peyton Manning's a big personality. John Elway was a big personality, obviously, Favre. Maybe Tom Brady wasn't overly outgoing, but I can't think of a ton of quarterbacks, and great ones, in history that have had this big personality. And Gutekunst basically said, I hadn't even really considered that, so he must not think it's very important.
Hey, Rob, now, it sounds like you're drinking the Jordan Love juice just like a lot of Packers fans are. Do you think we're rightfully drinking this? Because on Sunday, you seem like up in the air, we're going to see what's going to happen. But now, with you drinking that Love juice, do you think Packers fans are overreacting to this performance that he had? Or do you think this is a guy we want to roll with?
Yeah, no, I think there could be some definite overreaction. But look, maybe I'm guilty of it too, but, the most recent thing I saw and the most recent thing I've seen leading up to that was pretty impressive. Now, I was the guy who early in training camp went on SportsCenter and said, boy, he's had a bunch of days where you look at it and be like, this could be a long season. And I got crushed for that, right? So maybe I'm overcorrecting a little bit. But I just think as this thing has gone along from about mid-August on, everything has pointed to this. Now, again, I think Ben said it off the top. Like, the Bears stink, right? So, I guess, you can only play who's on your schedule, and they took care of business. It's not like they went down there and won 20-17 or something. They put up 38. I know 7 was a defensive touchdown, but to that point in the first week one, he was the first quarterback that threw three touchdown passes, and that was in the late window on Sunday. So there are definitely some things that make you think, they might be on to something here.
You're listening to Kyle Brust and Nortman, KBN on ESPN Wisconsin. We're talking with Rob Domofsky here, ESPN's Green Bay Packers reporter. Rob, we look forward to you saying something on our show that gets you crushed. But go ahead, Brad.
Rob, from the outside looking in, it sure looks like this team is having a lot of fun. They look very loose, very energetic. Are you noticing, from your unique perspective inside the locker room and being with these guys on a daily basis, are you noticing any different about the vibes of the team, the energy, the looseness? Is this different from years past?
I would say this, Brad, and I said this last year, so it's not revisionist history. I felt like last year people walked on eggshells, and really the last couple of years people walked on eggshells around Aaron, not wanting to, get on his bad side. And look, part of that is he earned that, right? He earned the ability to say, you know what, I'm this good and we're going to do it my way or else. And that part of the whole equation, that part of the vibe is totally different. I asked Rasul Douglas early in training camp just sort of about that, and he said, look, I can't tell you what the vibe is, but I can tell you that it's different. Like that's, and that was like the first week or so of camp. Like, he's like, I don't know exactly what it's going to be, but it's going to be different. And I would say that it's loose and relaxed. And look, there's so many young guys on this team that it's just I know it's a cliche that sometimes they don't know any better, but I think in this case it's probably true. They're just being themselves and going out there and having a good time. And look, it's a lot easier. You guys are all the same age, right? You probably have the same interests. It's a lot easier to hang out with guys that are sort of your same age and in some of your same place in life. That doesn't mean I don't want to party with you guys because I'm the most immature 52-year-old that I know.
Let's do it.
But it's like when you're around people of your own age and your own experience level, it's just more comfortable.
Well, Rob, before we let you go, I want you to answer this quickly. You don't have to pull up schedules or anything, but after the season-ending injury for A-Raj, who's going to win more games, the Packers or the Jets this year?
Packers, and that was a change from what I had said, would have said a few days ago.
Well, there you have it. Better second-round pick for the Packers, according to Rob Domofsky. Thanks for joining us, Rob. Look forward to having you on KBN every Wednesday around 3:30.
All right, guys, we'll be seeing you.
All right, thank you, Rob, for joining KBN. Coming up next, can't believe it. I'm not going to rip on Kyle next segment for Frontier. We actually have something else to talk about. I do want to revisit Jordan Love's expectations that we talked about with Rob from David Bakhtiari. He is a quote machine right now, for good or for bad. We get to digest it coming up next on KBN, presented by Bud Light. But first, sorry, Chris. Got to give a shout out to Water Joe. Water with a work ethic. On Tuesdays at 3 o'clock, you can mark your calendar, mark your alarms, because that's when Are You Smarter Than Ben Brust is, and that is presented by Water Joe. That simple, clean energy, right? Like you look at all these sodas, these energy drinks, you read the labels, you're like, how am I putting this in my body? This is horrible for me. Well, you don't have to. Just pick up Water Joe at like a Quick Trip, a Meijer, a Festival Foods, a Woodman's. 85 milligrams of caffeine is similar to that 20-ounce soda that you don't need to put in your body anymore. Tastes just like water, no off taste, gives you the energy that you need, that Kyle Wallace energy that you need. That's right. Pick it up at your local retailer. Water Joe.
We're back with more Kyle, Brust, and Nortman coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com. Football Guy.
Just as long as they're 18-wheelers that are full of inventory, don't jackknife on the highway, then everything will be fine.
Football Guy.
Why would you put that out in the universe? Why would you do that?
You psycho.
Yeah, you psychopath. It's not healthy, Jason. What are you doing?
Coming at it from different views.
Come on.
I'm a psycho and a moron.
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Also sponsored by Coors Light. Weekdays 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Brust for Road America, where vintage racing lives on. Experience the sights, sounds, and smells from motorsport's pioneering age in historic Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Road America's 2023 season offers numerous opportunities to watch vintage race cars take on the iconic 4-mile road course. The Aaron's Art of Wheels Vintage Weekend wraps up the 2023 Road America race season September 15th through the 17th. Get your tickets today at roadamerica.com. Road America, America's National Park of Speed.
This is going to be interesting, so pay attention.
Mountains and trees. Ducks and hunting dogs. Dinosaur bones. Meteorites. Steel that's carved like the leather stirrups on a Western saddle. Damascus steel, like they make swords out of. Carbon fiber. Hardwood.
Manly things.
Hardwood. You already said that. I know. I just like the sound of it. Hardwood. It does have a nice ring to it.
Ring. I see what you did there.
I'm sorry. I got us off track.
Kessler's has wedding bands for men.
Real men.
Made of manly things.
He wants you to wear a big, beautiful diamond so that everyone you meet will know how much he loves you.
Why not insist that he wear something equally cool?
You'll tell your grandkids about the day you went shopping for this wedding band at Kessler's when they ask,
"Where did you get such a cool ring? And what is it made of?"
Welcome to Kessler's.
To find the Kessler's nearest you,
go to KesslersDiamonds.com.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point. with Evan Cohen, Chris Canty, and Michelle Smallman.
I'm still processing the fact that Aaron Rodgers is out for the entire season, that this is actually happening for the New York Jets. And I know that Robert Saleh has no other option than to have this be the message to the team. They do have a lot of talent. They still do have a chance at this. But the reason that people are putting an obituary under their name, as you mentioned, Evan, is because Zach Wilson was demoted twice last season. Yeah. Because they went out and got Aaron Rodgers because they did not think Zach Wilson was capable of taking this team to where they need to go. Now, I will say, the more I think about it, I do think we're going to see a different version of him. He went to the school of Aaron Rodgers in the offseason. He's gotten a lot of confidence in the offseason in himself. You know, you saw it in Hard Knocks. He seems like he's learned from his mistakes last year. We'll just have to see from a talent standpoint if he's able to get it done.
Well, let's be clear about one thing. It had more to do with Zach's overall mentality than how he played on the field.
At the Home Depot, Saturdays are about two things. Easy cleanup with the Ryobi 18-volt ONE+ Whisper Series leaf blower. And football. That's right, Reese Davis. With variable speed, it has the power for when you really need it and just the right amount when you don't. And the ONE+ battery platform means you go from yard work to DIY in just a click, so you can get projects done faster. Which means more time for football. For football. Upgrade your Saturday with Ryobi and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
The Hoop Collective Podcast.
I'm at our ESPN LA studios. You may remember that Bev did a couple of days of work for ESPN last year.
No, I remember. I was on with him.
He left a gorgeous Dolce & Gabbana suit here that is just spectacular.
You should wear it on TV today, Brian.
I do not believe it will fit me, only because the arms are too long. You're across the street. Come over and get it. It's got to be at least a $7,000 suit.
The Hoop Collective Podcast. Listen on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Keeping it rolling here on KBN, presented by Bud Light, the official beer of the NFL. Day 3 for KBN. Kyle Wallace to my right, Brad Nortman to my left. You can see that on stream, on Twitter, on YouTube. Find us wherever you get your podcasts. If you miss any of our shows, Chris Larson does a great job of getting those out as soon as possible so you can go to Wisconsin On Demand. But I got to give a shout out to Herd Hospitality, because we're talking a lot of Packers right now. Football season's here. We've been waiting for it, right? We've been waiting for the moment that we could just embrace, actually play on the field. For all of you going up there, the official ride to Green Bay is going to be our great friends at Milwaukee Broad House, Jack's American Pub, and Wanakee Golf Course, because they all offer transportation. Get to there, to and from every Green Bay home game this season. They got bus services with private restrooms, all-you-can-drink packages. Book your round-trip ride from any of those locations. That's Jack's, Wanakee Golf Course, and Milwaukee Broad House. Again, you can book your complimentary access to it, all-you-can-eat, all-you-can-drink tailgate at the bar at Holmgren Way when you do take the ride. So you'll have a place to go up there and, enjoy the day. Make your game day experience a VIP experience with your official ride to Green Bay, and visit MilwaukeeBroadhouse.com to book your trip. That's MilwaukeeBroadhouse.com. 800-990-3776. Also, you can get us on Twitter at KBN ESPN. After Aaron Rodgers' season-ending injury, who wins more games this season, the Packers or the Jets? I said Jets. Kyle, you actually said Jets. Rob Domofsky, who just joined us, said the Packers. And Brad, you have the Packers. So we're at a 2-2 tie, but KBN Nation is speaking right now. They have the Packers by a lot.
KBN Nation, just they know what's up. They know that the Packers are in for a better season than the Jets. How can you not be, guys? Kyle, especially you, man.
I'm a Packers,
especially you.
I am a Packers fan. We know this. I'm on the love train, and I believe the Packers are going to be good. This is not a shot at my Packers. This is saying the confidence that I have in the Jets being able to win 10 games this year, where I think the Packers, before the season, I thought was 7. Now I'm feeling maybe we're going to be 9-8, 8-9. So I still have confidence in my team that I am a shareholder of, but I'm just,
I don't think you have as much confidence as you think. Don't you think he talks like they're going to win 12 games, but then he says 8 and 9?
Yeah, because 8 and 9, that's kind of like par for the course now.
No, that's a step in the right direction. I'm telling you, we're not going to win every single close game. I lived through it when Aaron Rodgers took over in 2008. That's just not going to happen. So I understand we're going to take our bumps and bruises, but I just want to see this team elevate, get better, and take the step in the right direction. And we're already off to a great start, and the Jets are already really a really good football team despite the fact not having Aaron Rodgers. They have two-headed monster back there with Dalvin Cook and also with Breece Hall as well.
If you think this New York Jets team with Zach Wilson leading it is going to win 10 games, how many do you think they're going to win with Rodgers?
I mean, Rodgers going to give them at least 13. They're going to win at least 13 games with Aaron Rodgers.
That's high. I would have said 11 to 12 considering their division.
I believe in Aaron. You saw what they did to the Buffalo Bills. If you had to pick a team before the season who was going to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl, what was the team you're picking?
I mean, I would probably choose the Chiefs again.
And who's number two?
The Jets have to be in that conversation.
Just because of their defense.
They have to be.
The Jets, Bills, and
and
Chiefs.
Rodgers
Those were the top
compelling.
3 dogs.
So here's the thing. No matter what, no matter who makes Vegas, it's going to go to the Super Bowl. But you can go to Vegas for the Green Bay game as well against, that Las Vegas team. They'll build a new stadium out there. That's by doing the Circa Sports contest that we have going on. You can play 21 against me. All you got to do is text #Vegas to 800-990-3776. Again, listen closely. #Vegas to 800-990-3776. The contest ends on 9/17, so make sure when you text that #Vegas to 800-990-3776, you fill out the form. 10 people will be chosen randomly to come to the 3rd Street Market Hall here in Milwaukee. We'll play 21. I'll be the dealer, and the last person standing wins the grand prize for you and somebody else to go to Las Vegas and get tickets to the Green Bay game, flight, hotel. It's all there, folks. So 800-990-3776. That's #Vegas. Kyle, Brust, and Nortman across ESPN Wisconsin. We're leaving you in Madison. You can always stream us. You can always get us. But coming up next in Madison is going to be Rutledge and Hamilton. You know what? I have a feeling that, Kyle, you'd fit in well with Rutledge because he hates the Packers and you love the Packers. I'd love to see you two together. We'll get some crosstalk going there at some point, but we'll be up next here in Milwaukee and Beaver Dam on 94.5 ESPN at 1430 Beaver Dam.
Northbound on 43 remains slow. 24 minutes there from downtown to Brown Deer Road, all because of an accident that happened at Locust, and it's blocking the left lane. So heads up with that. The southbound side, 21 minutes to get from Brown Deer Road into the Marquette. Southbound on 41, hitting the brakes from Appleton Avenue all the way down past almost to Burleigh. And then on westbound 94, definitely slowing down from 25th Street through the Stadium Interchange. Traffic is brought to you by James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner. Visit jamesimaging.com. And check the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, mainly clear and cool, a low of 54 at the lake, 45 inland. And then tomorrow, sunny and beautiful, a high of 71 at the lake, 75 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Hi, this is Wayne Larrabee, the voice of Green Bay football. Fans count on me to make the right call every time, and I can continue to do that thanks to Summit Eye Care of Wisconsin. When my vision began to drift, my eye doctor said Summit Eye Care was the best place to go. Using the latest adjustable implants, the doctors at Summit were able to fine-tune my vision. In fact, my vision is now the best it's ever been. Summit Eye Care was the right call to help me see all the action on game days.
To schedule an appointment at one of their locations, visit summitiwi.com.
Kevin Moret here from Mentality Men's Health. Guys, did you know that the stored belly fat reduces your free testosterone? The more the belly grows, the harder it is to drop, mostly because of the decrease in free T. It's a vicious cycle that men are losing, and unfortunately, everyone can see it. Mentality breaks that cycle with semaglutide, an industry-changing weight loss medication that can help you lose up to 15% of your body weight while preserving your testosterone. Join our over 20,000 clients to look and feel the way you deserve. In Milwaukee, go to lowtusa.com. That's lowtusa.com.
Game nights will here. Catch Jen, Gabe, and Chewy mornings 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. Broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN. Presented by Bud Light on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
We them boys. We them boys.
It's the 414 hour on KBN, and shout out to KBN Nation.
That's Kyle Wallace. This is Kyle Brust and Nortman. It's just a little better when he does it than me.
You guys are both pretty good. That's some energy, though. The KBN Nation.
I think we can mix it up a little bit, right? You for it?
Even me?
I don't know. Yeah, why not?
Give me a minute.
Yeah, no, you gonna be good.
We'll get him there.
Yeah. We're talking about David Bakhtiari setting high standards for love. You guys are setting high standards for me with these openings.
So, to the question that we were going on, do you want us to set those high expectations?
I don't know. I hope that our audience
come on now.
some memories.
I don't even want you as my punter. Talk about you don't know. I want the punter that said, I want to punt from the 1 yard line.
I'll hit it from the 1 to the 1.
I'm rooting for fourth downs here. Yeah, you know what? Scrap that.
Actually, let's go. And you know what?
I'm gonna
scrap what I was gonna do next. As a punter, did you root for your team to mess up so you could punt?
No, absolutely not.
Come on,
because I'm gonna play if we're I'm holding if we're gonna end on a field goal extra point too.
Yeah, but baloney. Nobody shouts out the holder.
Here's what I will say: the perfect game to me. Defensive struggle,
like when I bet unders, like you talked about.
Yeah, when you're rooting for punts, man, give me some punts. Give me like a good 7 punts out there. Put 5 of them inside the 20,
7.
And then you look back at a win for the team. Maybe you only win by 3 points. It's like a 14-17 kind of game, and you look back and say, "Hey, those punts, they made a difference."
So for those who don't know, Brad Nortman punted at the University of Wisconsin. He spent 6 years in the NFL, 4 with the Panthers, 2 with the Jaguars. I got it down now. See, you told me the right stuff, and then I look it up, and I actually do it right. I said 8 years for him because I was trying to embellish his NFL career. But as Kyle said, he gets all of his vested stuff for playing the league as long as he did. Now, as a punter, right? Like you wear the shirt on the first day, special or second day. Specialists are people too, or punters are people.
Punters are people too.
Whatever. I don't really believe it. I don't think you guys are people. Did people actually come up to you? Like did the star skill players that we're all drafted in fantasy football come up to Brad Nortman after a game and be like, "Yo, you really helped us"?
Oh yeah, for sure, guys. Here, the punter in the locker room. You might not know this. The punter in the locker room, we're everybody's friend. We're everybody's friend because we're not threatening, right? We're like, and you're not losing games. You're like the kicker.
Like if I drop a couple passes, Brad's not next up to run routes in the slot.
That's true. I'm not threatening anyone's position. I'm not, defense loves me, offense loves me. You're obviously your own specialist, dude, but you're not missing field goals, so guys really aren't mad at you if that's what's going on. I mean, you're so non-threatening. You're just everybody's buddy. When you have a good game, man, you want to hang out with your buddy, you want to compliment your buddy, you definitely get those attaboys.
That's true until you have a chance to try to tackle somebody and you don't tackle them right.
Yeah. No, that we don't talk about that.
We just talk about being everyone's best buddy.
Yeah.
That's Brad Nortman. He's Kyle Wallace, and I think it's fair. Like, look, you got to be in the NFL locker room. That's stuff that we don't get to do.
Hey, yeah, man, I'm jealous of that.
Who's the coolest person that dapped you up?
Coolest person that dabbed me up, like a teammate kind of thing. I mean, I basically dabbed up every top teammate of mine, and got attaboys from them. So you're talking about a short list of Cam Newton, Greg Olsen, Thomas Davis, Luke Kuechly, Jalen Ramsey. Dang. Did I get set up for that?
I got set his ass up.
Man, this is supposed to be a place of trust and
set his ass up.
and safety.
I ain't gonna lie. I was sitting there listening like, who you done
No, as soon as he started listening, I went to Chris Larson right in his ear, play the Yadouche.
Baited.
So for those who ever had the chance to listen to Scalzo and Brust, it's no longer on these airwaves. When somebody would say something, I don't know, like, hey, I played in the Final Four, we'd hit a cool button. So we just debuted the Yadouche button that
Yadouche.
That's so good though.
So again, please continue.
No.
I'm curious. I'm curious.
Yeah. I'm curious if I'm going to get the you douche button again.
Well, we'll have to find out.
Okay, then I'll go. I'm going to lean in. Cam Newton, Steve Smith, Greg Olson, Luke Kuechly, Thomas Davis, Jalen Ramsey, Calais Campbell, Blake Bortles. Got to throw Blake in there, right? Leonard Fournette. He was kind of a lot of fun. Yeah, I mean, all the guys were so cool. I think that's what was one thing that going into even playing in Wisconsin, you're like, man, am I going to be treated like an orphan over here and like the stepbrother and nobody really wants.
Like you didn't have like a cool story. You're like I'm not like a LA guy. I punted at Wisconsin. Like you got the Midwest story, which like you got a lot of guys from Florida, Texas, California, and he's just Midwest
shock.
Brad.
And there's some and exactly, and like honestly, if you're just authentically yourself, they love Midwest Brad. I mean, how could you not love Midwest Brad? Just coming in here, coming in with a polo. Hey, how you doing? Hey, what's up, guys? I mean, it was just so well received. The non-threatening, everybody's friend, Brad the punter.
I got it. You giving me a little Kirk Cousins vibes.
Yeah, it's exactly right. The punting version of Kirk Cousins.
You like
proudly?
That? All right.
Proudly.
I like. Let's stand on it.
But you realize Kirk Cousins put on the chain and celebrated with his teammates. So that means you're going to have to bring in the show and do the 4-1-4 at 4.
Yeah, get that 4-1-4 at 4 chain.
Man, I'm gonna be as cool as Kirk when I do that too. I'm gonna step up to the plate and I will not fail our KBN Nation.
That means you got to take your shirt off.
No one wants to see that.
I don't know. I don't know. We're on stream.
Hey, I'll say this: Kirk is pretty cut now. I don't look like Kirk.
I mean, but you look like you're still in some good shape there. I can tell you still working out.
Give me like a month heads up to this. So I can do a little bit.
It's a month.
You got 30 days.
No, I'm not.
30 days.
I'll give you that 30-day notice.
I'll wear the chain and maybe I'll wear like a tank top, maybe like that. Maybe I'll do some arms beforehand. I don't know about going.
I might rip
topless.
it off you.
Nobody wants.
I might rip it off you.
You gotta get to me first.
It's a tight studio, buddy. It's a tight studio.
True.
KBN now just on 94.5 ESPN 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam. Kyle Wallace, Brad Nortman, Ben Brust here, and I want to change the conversation to Aaron Jones and Christian Watson because Adam Schefter joined our very own morning show here on 94.5 ESPN, Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, and gave an update on where Aaron Jones is in his status.
I have questions about Aaron Jones and his availability for this week. I don't know whether he's going to be able to go with the hamstring injury. I know he said he could have come back in and played Sunday. They didn't need him to do that, but hamstring down in Atlanta. I won't be surprised if Aaron Jones misses on Sunday.
That Adam Schefter saying he wouldn't be surprised, and as we got a report at 3:30 from Rob Domofsky, Aaron Jones did not practice at all. I don't even think he saw him, which means he was likely in the athletic training facility, just rehabbing, getting himself to a place where he needs to be. And Christian Watson also still questionable. So when it comes to those two, right, and obviously it's easy to be prisoner of the moment when you see what Aaron Jones was able to do, and not just from week one. We know what Aaron Jones is capable of, but each week is going to provide different challenges for your offense. And what Aaron Jones was able to do last week, 12 touches, right? 2 receptions, 86 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 on the ground, 1 in the pass game. Who is more important for this team? Who would be a bigger loss this weekend against the Falcons, Aaron Jones or Christian Watson? Because both their statuses are up in the air.
Man, if you had to lose one of them, the bigger loss, in my opinion, would be Aaron Jones. And it's honestly not even very close. I think we talked about that every quarterback has their safety blanket, and we're still trying to figure out exactly who that is. But if I had to place a vote, it is Aaron Jones for Jordan Love. Not even just in the passing game, but knowing you've got one, an emotional leader behind you, a very positive leader that people look to as the veteran of the offense. But 2, knowing you can hand him off the ball and he's going to be a spark, he's going to be a speedster, he can break off a run for 8 yards or 80 yards. And in the passing game, you see how versatile he is. So losing that, and then because the follow-up question is who fills the shoes? We've had concerns about A.J. Dillon. I feel like we've had concerns about him stepping up the last 2 seasons and waiting for that to take that leap. And Rob Domofsky talked on that a little bit as well. So we've seen the guys step up in the receiving room, being able to rise to the occasion and fill in for Christian Watson, even though that is a big loss. I don't know if Aaron Jones is replaceable on the field. He might be irreplaceable for this Green Bay offense.
He's definitely replaceable, but the replacement ain't on the Green Bay offense or on this team. And I said this before, no Watson, no problem. We saw what this team is capable of without Christian Watson. He's not going to be a luxury. He's going to be somebody that we're going to need. But when you look at this next game, you definitely want to have a back like Aaron Jones. You ran up and down the importance of having him, not just because of the threat he is on the field, but that character and the personality and the vibes that he brings off the field. And so, yes, we have to trust in A.J. Dillon to step up. But when it comes to that offensive weapon side, we know what the receivers are going to bring, but we do not know what's going to happen with those running backs. Maybe if Emmanuel Wilson is healthy, maybe we have a breakout game from Emmanuel Wilson or a Patrick Taylor where they have an opportunity to step up for this team, and now we kind of solve that problem and maybe light a fire behind A.J. Dillon to really get his stuff together and be the second running back that we truly need for the Packers.
Well, I mean, at this point, it's now or never for A.J. Dillon. Like, I know he gets better as the season goes on, right? It gets colder. Like, I've seen his yards per carry go up each month as the season goes on, but like, you can't have that when, what is it, his fourth year now? He's drafted the same year as Jordan Love. Yes, he was a second-round pick after Jordan Love. So in your fourth year now, there's no time for you to continue to try and develop how you're going to break tackles and stay on your feet. 11 carries, 18 yards.
His vision just looked poor, too. He just looked like he was running
stumbling.
And bumping into people. He wasn't able to hit the hole and figure out to make a cut to go anywhere and avoid people.
And I don't see this next game on Sunday as like a high-scoring, like offensive affair, even though it's in a dome, because look, Desmond Ridder is the quarterback. They have Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier. Like, they built their team to run the football. And right now, with Christian Watson potentially being out, the strength of the Packers is in the offensive line. And so you want to try and get the ball down the field, utilizing your running backs that you've invested in the draft or with paying Aaron Jones. And if Aaron Jones isn't there, if A.J. Dillon has to step up, it's next man up in the NFL. We've seen what it's like for running backs. Like, if you get some of these running backs you've never heard of a chance, you could be past it pretty quickly.
Aaron Jones was the guy that you gave a chance. I believe he was between a fifth and a seventh round pick.
I think he was a sixth round pick.
And so he's a guy that eventually got a chance once Mike McCarthy got out of town and stopped trying to not give him the ball. So there is a potential that we could see Emmanuel Wilson. I said it before. He may actually be a guy. He showed in the preseason that he has a burst of speed. He has the vision. He has the opportunity, hopefully come this Sunday, to kind of show up and shine. So I'm with you there, Ben.
Fifth round pick, 182nd overall, but I think it just goes to, right? You Emmanuel Wilson, Patrick Taylors of the world. You give him an opportunity. If there's no Aaron Jones, they're going to get touches. A.J. Dillon's just not going to get. He's not going to get all the touches against Atlanta, especially when you see him go out of the backfield, drop his first pass. Like, that's when you talk about the safety blankets, right? As Jordan Love continues to figure out who he's going to go to, it's human nature, right? The guys you go to are the guys you trust.
For sure. And isn't it interesting we're having this conversation when the narrative of the whole NFL running back market is they're irreplaceable, no big deal, or they are replaceable, no big deal. You can just plug and play. Who needs to pay these guys? Well, we're going to find out if that's really true, because if Aaron Jones can't play this weekend and maybe many more after that, let's hope not. But we'll see if this is something that you can actually plug and play and just have anybody fill the role of the running back position.
This is where I'm going to disagree with you. Like, I don't consider Aaron Jones a running back, right? Like,
really,
just from the standpoint of what he's been able to do, just from not being in the backfield. Like, he lined up on the outside of 4th and 3, and he's done that over his entire. I look at him as a playmaker, right?
Yeah, but playmakers come out the backfield, though.
Correct.
This isn't anything new of being able to be a weapon like he
I'm just saying, like, he's not just like a true Derrick Henry running back.
Yeah.
Like, he's a playmaker versus a running back.
Versatile running back that we have.
Sure.
But I'm with Brad on the value. Running backs are undervalued in the NFL. They truly are, because there's one thing to have a good back, and I've seen it for many years in Green Bay when we were cheering for a guy named Sam Congato. Shout out to Sam Congato for having an interview with Gabe. But there's value in having a guy that you can trust, that's going to be consistent week in and week out. And so I really do think that running backs are undervalued. And I said it before, Jonathan Taylor looked good in green and gold, but I do think that Aaron Jones, he's going to be very, very missed come this Sunday.
The most egregious thing you've said on KBN in our first 2.5 days is that you would have traded Christian Watson for
it's not egregious.
For Jonathan Taylor.
Well, you know what? If we had Jonathan Taylor now, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But like, all right, well.
And if you didn't have Christian Watson, you think Jaden Reed and Romeo Dobbs and Luke Musgrave would be good enough over an entire season?
I mean, they look good in week 1.
Mr. Green and Gold.
I could be optimistic.
Jumping ahead after 1 week against the Bears. Let's go to Trucker Mark, the official trucker of KBN Nation. Mark, welcome into KBN.
Good morning, my brothers. How you doing today?
Fantastic.
Hey.
Great.
Awesome. So I think A.J. Dillon isn't going to be something I got to worry about as much. My biggest worry right now is Josh Myers. Is he going to be able to create the holes for A.J. Dillon to go in? Because as far as I could see, he wasn't really opening those holes up enough during the game. And then when he would swing out, he was missing the blocks too. So my biggest worry is more on the center. Personally, he's the one that's got to shift and make the hole, whether it's going to be to the left or the right, and that's to me what's going to make or break A.J. Dillon being the north and south runner.
Appreciate the call, the official trucker of KBN Nation, Trucker Mark. What's interesting is, again, Josh Myers has been a question mark since we started training camp. Like, the Packers have been moving guys around. Like, the best part is they have versatility. If it becomes a true issue, I trust that Adam Stenavich is who. It's weird to say his name because he's the offensive coordinator. You literally hear nothing about him. Was the offensive line coach before he took over the offensive coordinator position. So if there's one place that I don't worry, especially after week one, it's the offensive line. I know Josh Myers has been a concern.
That's a lie.
But
that's a lie. You just talking all this. Aaron Rodgers being hurt, and offensive line not good there. With
no, but I'm literally saying I trust Adam Stenavich based off the
depth
that they have.
Just in general, okay.
No, based off the depth that they have, the Packers have always been able to figure it out. Whether it's swinging Elton Jenkins from tackle to guard, they've been able to do it. So that's the least of my worries. Coming up next, I do want to hit on Coach Prime. Coach Prime put out an Instagram in which he ranked his children and tagged them so they could see where they rank in his family. To quote William Tausch, is it in poor taste to rank your family members? I'll let you know on the other side. This is Kyle Brust Nortman on 94.5 ESPN.
More Kyle Brust and Nortman coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Delays along 41 northbound, right about at Mayfair Road. Looks like we've got some sort of an issue there, and that is tying everybody up. So we got big delays coming out of the zoo at our change in all directions. 31 minutes to get from the zoo to Highway Q. And now on northbound 43, we're still dealing with an accident with the left lane blocked at Locust. That's going to take a bit of time, 26 minutes to make from downtown to Brown Deer Road, an extra 15. Southbound side's going to be slow 22 to get from Brown Deer Road to the Marquette. Traffic is brought to you by the Waukesha Gun Club, featuring trap, skeet ranges, and sporting clay courses over 98 acres. Just 1 mile north of I-94 at exit 295. Learn more at waukeshagunclub.org. And check out the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, mainly clear and cool, low of 54 at the lake, 45 inland. Tomorrow, sunny and beautiful, high of 71 at the lake, 75 inland. Weather is brought to you by the Big Backyard at Maddie's Bar and Grill. Check out the giant outdoor screen for watch parties and enjoy craft cocktails and featured menu items. Maddie'sBar.com for full details. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Even when you think you know what's going on.
I heard it started out in the military where they'd give it to people in the military where they wouldn't get a Woodrow Wilson.
You can never be too sure.
If a lot of people were having issues with the Woodrow Wilson.
Yes. You know what we should talk about?
Right, how do I do
ice
this?
cream. Remember how it was too hard? So you add the bill.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, morning 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN and available wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
A big anniversary